Carlos Beltran's niece on Twitter, if you remember that story.
I do. Yeah.
Who is going through saying that he has a source in Japan that is they were taking $1 million bets on games in which Shohei Ohtani was getting tanked on the mound.
I've seen that thread, and there's the obligatory note that Twitter puts up, this may not be, or this may be misinformation.
The community note.
Yeah, so take it with a grain of salt. But the Twitter thread does put up specific games of where they believe bets were made in Japan, and then shows how Shohei didn't play well in those games. Obviously, if you could actually link a payment between Shohei or the interpreter, and then cross-reference that with dates, then that would be something. But this feels not. I don't take a lot of stock in it right now.
I don't either, but it just feels like we're at the tip of the iceberg with the story.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, this story broke Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
So we're still half a week into this thing. So there's obviously going to be more twists and turns. For sure, there's not going to be the, smoking gun. We know he bet this game at this time,
right.
and then
we're not
out there
get that.
and gave up 9 runs. And
there's a reason why
for 5.
There would be a reason why he'd be doing it illegally, so it would be off the books, so we wouldn't have those records.
And that's
if you believe he bet.
And that's why it's against MLB rules, is because they're not against players gambling as long as it's not on baseball. But if
Diamond Sports.
Yeah, but if you go to an illegal bookie, then they cannot track it the way they can track it as if he, maybe took a flight to Lake Charles and bet here at the beautiful LaBerge Sportsbook.
Yeah, it's the whole process is just I don't know where they go from here, because it does. No matter
it's all about what you can prove, right? That's the problem.
I mean, they have
it's not
to,
about what you know; it's about what you can prove.
Yeah, and for Shohei Ohtani's benefit, and baseball's benefit, because I'm pro. Please keep Ohtani in the game if he did nothing wrong. Honestly, even if he did, I would hate to lose Shohei Ohtani in baseball. Honestly.
So this sounds. I'll speak for myself. I don't know where you guys weigh in on this, but I don't believe Shohei actually bet. I believe his interpreter bet. He made a payment to help his buddy out, and they're now having, because that was the original story that came out, that the interpreter said, he told ESPN, Shohei found out about my gambling problems, covered my $4.5 million, and they have wire transfers in his name to this illegal bookmaker, which sounds like, okay, Shohei's being a good guy, but they had to change their story because, as Sean mentioned, even though he's not betting on baseball, if you believe what the interpreter said, if you make payments to an illegal bookmaker, you're still violating MLB rules, and you're also violating federal rules, and the FBI is involved. So I think the lawyers saw that initial comment from the interpreters, hold on. Let's adapt this story to fit within to avoid federal prison time.
Yeah.
So I don't believe he actually bet. I believe the original story the interpreter said that Shohei, as his buddy, covered his gambling bets. I believe that's the accurate story, but they're having to backtrack to avoid violating MLB rules and federal laws.
I tend to agree, but what's fascinating, though, is that Shohei's side is now saying theft. So they have to somehow prove that that Ippei stole the money from Shohei Ohtani's bank account. I mean, regardless of, Shohei is definitely one of the most naive people on the planet. That is the one thing.
Is that the best case scenario?
Yes. I think best case scenario is Shohei Ohtani is a really good friend and the most naive person on the planet.
And secondary to that is that it is some massive theft, or it is perceived as some massive theft, but it isn't. But they can't actually prove it, so his interpreter doesn't go to jail for the rest of his life for stealing $4.5 million. And he still gets to play baseball. Like, the best case scenario for Shohei is that it's just kind of still muddied waters, and as long as they can't definitively prove that he bet on games, he can still play baseball.
That feels like a very narrow path to walk.
It is.
Especially because, look.
Well, what's more likely is that they can pin it on Ippei, and that guy just goes to jail.
It sounds to me, the most likely scenario is Shohei's going to meet a fall guy.
His interpreter.
Yeah, his interpreter. Because we saw not many people saw it because it started at 5 a.m., but the opening games in Seoul, Korea, we saw video of Shohei and his interpreter yucking it up in the dugout. If you believe the theft story, and we know that Shohei would have known about this because we know about from the wire transfers that happened at least as far back as January, Shohei would have by that point known that he had $4.5 million stolen from him. Are you then yucking it up in the dugout and taking the guy to Korea with you and not firing him if he stole $4.5 million from you?
The only way that
makes no sense.
Yeah, the only way that's logical is that think back to what Tim Duncan got robbed blind by his.
I don't actually even remember that.
So his financial advisor was just taking the money out of the accounts that he had access.
Financial advisor,
no,
not
I know.
interpreter.
That's where I'm like, is it possible that Shohei and his interpreter and his best buddy Ippei are such good friends that for whatever reason they share a bank account?
But think about
it,
because Shohei's married. He doesn't have his interpreter on his bank account.
I would assume so.
I don't know if his wife shares his bank account.
Yeah, we didn't even know she existed till they got married.
Yeah. We didn't know what she looked like until Monday.
Yeah, there were rumors because it first came out he was married to a quote regular woman.
Yeah,
and there were rumors that came out like he was this wrestler at AEW. Then it turned out to be a basketball player.
Yeah,
so
that
she can ball.
Yeah, that she has a full mixtape.
Yeah,
as John Granado would say, that woman can play.
These women can play.
This story is going nowhere fast. Do you guys think this is also the beginning of, Calvin Ridley was one thing, right? And then yes, he bet on the Falcons technically in parlays. It was low level. But don't you guys feel like that at some point we're going to get now a major gambling scandal in sports? And this is kind of like hey, you better figure, this should be the red flag to these leagues, I think, a little bit more of hey, you might ruin your league if you guys don't figure this out a little bit.
Yeah, not just the Ridley and this situation, but you also have the Jamison Williams getting suspended.
Yeah,
and half the Lions.
I was going to say
half the Lions and half the Colts roster got suspended.
I was going to say it was 5 other Detroit Lions that got suspended, and so all these are right now they're minor offenses. You're going 5 miles over the speed limit kind of situation. Mm-hmm. It's just that. Yeah, it seems inevitable that there will be someone's going 50 miles over the speed limit situation where,
wouldn't this be it? Because we know 4.5 million, but that's only the report.
But it would have to be something to where he's point shaving.
Okay, that's fair.
Because just betting a lot that doesn't. That's no different.
That's
than
if
just
you
betting.
believe the interpreter's story, though, because he has every reason to tell you that they weren't betting on baseball. And we know 4.5 million, but that's only the reported losses. That's not the total that was bet.
Yeah.
That's just the losses that he's willing to report.
That's my question too.
The number is way bigger than 4.5 million.
Everyone's focused on 4.5 and two $500,000 payments, but first of all, how much money was this guy getting paid?
Oh,
if it's him.
No, he was getting paid $80,000 a year.
This is
a wild
amount of money.
I think that was what was reported, is that he was making less than 6 figures.
That seems illogical have $4.5 million in debt.
Sounds like this is now Shohei's fault. He wasn't paying his guy enough. You got to take care of him.
But
come on, Shohei.
Where did this guy get $4.5 million? I guess he was. In theory, you could say, I'm best friends with Shohei Ohtani.
Well, if you're betting with a legal bookmaker, and the bookmaker then finds out you've got connections, which how could he not? If he finds out you have connections to Shohei Ohtani, he knows you're bankrolled in a sense. And he knows he has leverage on you because Shohei is going to want to keep it out of the papers.
His interpreter was getting paid between $300,000 and $500,000.
Okay, I retract that. He's paid enough. Yeah. He was paid enough.
Now, even if Shohei is the other part of this too for me is that if Shohei is aware that Ippei is betting on games, and let's say if there is baseball bets that occurred, and which I guess you can't really prove unless you talk to the illegal bookmaker.
Unless you got receipts.
Yeah. Unless, as I jokingly called him, stool pigeon Shohei.
Yeah.
Unless you get someone squealing, you can't.
Is he an informant for the mob?
Well, once the FBI got involved, Paul was like, okay, so there's a very easy way out for Shohei.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you implying that
it is
that
kind of
be a
mobbish?
stool pigeon?
I was reading a story about it a couple of days ago about the FBI's involvement, and it mentioned RICO charges possibly coming. I was like, okay, this is kind of mobbish.
Yeah. But
seen that in a movie.
I have, many times.
Many times. If Shohei is giving info though to Ippei, and that's being passed along to the illegal bookmaker, even if they're not betting on the baseball games itself, if it's hey, Shohei's not feeling great today, bet on the other team, bet on the Braves -3.5. That's still if there's any kind of that documentation where it's info from the Angels and Shohei, goes to the interpreter, goes to the bookmaker, that's an issue. And that to me feels inevitable. That if this guy knew that Ohtani was connected to Ippei when he's making these bets, he's going to have inside information.
Not even that. I mean, you have the interpreter in the locker room of the Angels every day.
Right, so he would know info on Mike Trout. He would know info on the other pitchers.
It doesn't even have to come through Shohei. It could just be him just standing there because he's an interpreter, so he knows Japanese and English. So if Mike Trout is like, man, didn't get a wink of sleep last night. He can
fire the under.
Yeah, he can throw a bet in there.
Specifically with Shohei, I mean, this goes without saying that obviously any player could affect a line, but specifically with Shohei, what makes it even more problematic is in any given, at least once a week, he'd be the starting pitcher and the leadoff hitter.
Yeah,
and a guy capable of hitting 40 home runs in a season. No one could impact a line more than Shohei Ohtani.
That is very true. He is the most impact. I mean, short of a quarterback,
short of like Babe Ruth and going.
Oh, I was going other sports.
Okay,
like a quarterback,
sure,
or a a starting basketball player. He
like
could affect it the most,
yeah.
and he's the only guy in the league that could affect it in the way he does.
All right, Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Joe George live here at LaBerge in Lake Charles. Come check us out, or come check it out next time you want to leave Texas, head this way to Lake Charles, and play in the sports book here.
Make legal bets, Shohei.
Make legal bets, Shohei Ohtani. Next time you play the Astros, it's a 2-hour drive. Yeah. It's not far. Have Ippei, or I guess you're
not
Ippei.
Not
anymore.
Yeah, whoever is driving you now, just bring you over to Lake Charles. Just cross the border. Download the ESPN Bet app, and you can bet legally, Shohei Ohtani. All right, when we get back, there's some takes going around, guys, about the AFC South, and that the Texans might be in danger after the Tennessee Titans made a massive deal today. We'll talk about that next year on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
You're listening to The Bullpen, live from the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios located at LaBerge Casino Resort in Lake Charles. Here's Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
Bullpen coming to you live from LaBerge Lake Charles. If you have not yet, download the Penn Play app. When you do, you have a chance to win up to $2,000 in Penn Play cash. So before you head over here to the LaBerge Lake Charles, make sure you download that. There's rewards, perks, a bunch of different stuff you have access to as well. So make sure you download the Penn Play app before you come here if you have not done so yet. So this morning, the Tennessee Titans traded for L'Jarius Sneed for a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as a 3rd-round pick in addition to a 7th-round swap.
Okay, so that's not a lot, obviously. Now, this is the franchise
for a guy
tag.
that gave up no touchdowns as a corner?
Yeah, this is clearly L'Jarius Sneed was not going to be there. He was on the franchise tag. I thought they would get more than that because
I think he doesn't get more than that because you have to then also pay him.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
And it looks like he's going to be one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL.
Probably
after this move. But DJ Bieniemy, Cole Thompson, I've seen a couple other people tweet this out that there's been some major moves now in the AFC South, and that the division will not be as easy to win as some people thought. Now look, I don't think this move makes the Tennessee Titans that good.
I think it makes them better, but the problem is I don't believe in the other moves they made. This is the first move that the Titans have made this offseason where I'm like, oh, damn, that actually improved. Like Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, I don't really viewing that as them catching up to the Texans basically at all. This move does move the needle a little bit, but it's not enough when the quarterback is still Will Levis and your offensive line still sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. None of the moves that they made are guys. I mean, L'Jarius Sneed is a very good corner, but he's not someone that I feel like is flipping a game against the Titans or is flipping a division. He's worth several wins to the Titans.
Right, he's not going to affect the Titans Vegas preseason
over under.
Yeah. If you wanted to come out here to LaBerge and place a bet on the Titans, the line wouldn't have moved after the L'Jarius Sneed.
I'm sure the line has not changed this morning.
Yeah. So and same thing with Calvin Ridley. I'm actually I'm down on than I think the consensus. I saw his contract. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, 4 years, $92.50 guarantee. Just a hard pass on Calvin Ridley.
Same thing with Tony Pollard. I'm not a big Pollard guy, so I in general didn't really like these moves. So yes, they are making moves to close the gap. I just don't think they're going to close the gap, especially when the biggest gap they have to close is between the quarterback, and it's really a question of how much you believe in Will Levis. The Titans seem to believe in Will Levis, or at least are doing the thing that they should do, which is he was a 2nd rounder, correct?
Yeah, he was first pick in the 2nd round.
Well, so while he's on the 2nd round contract, you can spend it.
Yeah, because you have 3 more years of him on a rookie contract.
Apparently, you can spend it on Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley,
Yeah,
which is what I wouldn't do, but you could do that.
If this was 3 years ago, I would love their new offense. I would love Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard.
Back when he was 27?
Yeah, before we knew anything about Tony Pollard, and he was just Zeke's backup, but everyone thought he was the best.
Well, we thought he had juice before he went out and averaged 4.0 yards per carry.
So then the Jags added Eric Armstead. The Colts didn't really do too much besides retain guys. They brought back Pittman.
And they brought back Grover Stewart.
Yeah. They really didn't do anything
Their biggest moves were in-house.
Yeah. I really – the Texans might not win the division next year because their schedule's hard, but I don't think if they win the division it's because they go below 500 in the AFC South. I think they'll go 4-2 in the AFC South next year, assuming CJ's healthy in those 6 games. I don't think that these teams are this threat that other people do at all.
I just see this as the latest example of, look, I've obviously, Joe, you moved here, about 10 years ago now? But this is, for as long as I grew up in Houston, I'm born in Houston, as long as I can remember, this has always been kind of the pessimistic view of what's going around you for the Houston teams. It's always worrying about what else someone else is doing. And it's just frustrating because now you have the quarterback and the coach that other teams should be worried about, yet we're looking outside the city and oh, my God, they added Tony Pollard. Well, you added Daniil Hunter and Danico Autry and Azeez Al-Shaair and Joe Mixon. You also added to your team. Okay, the Titans maybe got better with their additions. I don't actually believe they got that much better, but you can make that case. Well, the Texans also got a lot better, and they were already a lot better last season.
Exactly. The Texans' offseason is better than anyone else in the division's offseason, and they were already the best team in the division. So, Joe, you're kind of alluding to, I agree with you that I think that the Texans are definitely the best team in the AFC South. However, they might not win the AFC South,
yes.
and that is strictly because of their scheduling outside of the divisional games. Whereas you'll have a team like the Jags, who I think were they Were they the third place team last year?
I think they were.
I think
'Cause I think they
Because obviously
dropped
Texans
down.
Colts Week 18 was for the division.
Yeah, so they're going to have a third place schedule. So basically, all the division winners that
No, Jacksonville ended up second.
they're second. Okay,
Yeah.
that changes it a little bit, but basically the Texans are going to play all the division winners from last year's AFC. They're going to play who's their NFC division?
The North.
They have the North, which is going to be solid. It's probably going to be better
you
than,
got
than
the
the
Lions.
South.
That's going to be tough.
Honestly,
Yeah.
so I've looked. I'm more optimistic about their schedule than I thought I was.
Really?
So if this is how I'm gonna look at this, okay? They go 4-2 in the division.
Sure.
You
Okay.
you have Detroit and you have Green Bay. Split it, right? So then you go that gets you to 5-3. You have the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. You split that one. That's the 6-4. But then you play the Patriots. You're gonna win that game. You play the Bears. You play the Vikings.
You skipped over the part where you said they're going to beat the Bears.
They're gonna win all three of those.
No, he was lumping
just-
them together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I was
just
I was lumping these bad teams together. Now the Bears might
don't
be the
know.
best of the group, but you're going to play three rookie quarterbacks.
There it is.
No,
There it is.
no. But think about it. You're going to play what? You're going to play Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, and like Drake May next season. You're going to
Yeah,
play. You're going to
Jacoby
play three
Brissett.
rookie quarterbacks next year. So the Texans, there's a path to 10 wins. The biggest hurdle is going to be how many of the Baltimore, Kansas City, Dallas games do you win? Do you win one of those? You might be in trouble.
I just think the whole schedule talk in general is overrated.
I-
Because we
yeah.
would have said the same thing about going to Cincinnati last year, and the Texans went in, and even though the final score was a little bit close, the Texans basically went in and wiped the floor with them.
And for the scheduling purposes, the Bengals were in last place in the AFC North last year. So if you're playing a last place schedule,
You're now getting Bengals,
the Bengals
with
are on that
healthy
schedule.
Joe Burrow and healthy
Yeah.
Jamar Chase.
So I agree with you that some of it is a little overrated.
You just don't know what these teams are going to be year to year. Like, is it impossible that everyone's pointing to games against I don't know, the Dallas Cowboys? Is it
Yeah.
impossible they take a step back? That's not impossible.
I mean, they haven't added a single player.
Right. Is it impossible the Buffalo Bills don't take a step back? They didn't add anybody of note. They lost a bunch of players off their roster.
That's why I feel better about the Texans' schedule now. Looking at
it's
it,
an overrated fear to me.
yeah, it's just looking at their opponents. I'm like, man, these teams really.
I
None
think
of them
people are
really
looking
took
at
the
name
next-
brand more
Yeah.
than the roster.
I think that's what it is. Is that when you list out the quarterbacks until you get to the Jacoby Brissett's and and Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams of it. I mean, even Caleb Williams, if you throw it on a social media graphic, you're like, whoa! All the star power that
Yeah.
they're playing Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tua.
Yeah, I'm not worried about
They're
Tua.
playing Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Right, there you go. I'm
You'll
worried
play-
about Tyreek, not
you'll play.
Jalen
You'll
Waddle.
play at. He's not running for vice president, so assuming he's healthy, you will play Aaron Rodgers next year.
Yeah, so there's a lot of they probably play all the biggest stars. I mean, Dak Prescott too. They play all they
play-
play all the biggest star quarterbacks
So
in the NFL.
so take the over on the national TV games.
Yeah,
yes.
we were talking about this
Yeah.
last week. We said 3.5. I brought it
Well,
down.
I would take the over on that.
Originally, we talked about over under 4.5.
I would still take the over. I think they get 5.
Man, that's so many.
It's a lot. I know.
Yeah.
But you just named off the quarterbacks. Like, what NFL? What exec's going to look at that and go, we don't want C.J. Stroud versus Josh Allen. We don't want C.J. Stroud versus Mahomes or versus Lamar Jackson versus Jared Goff versus Dak Prescott.
and Stroud is getting that star push
Oh,
Yeah.
for
from
sure.
the NFL.
He's in
So
the NBA All-Star game. He's all over the place.
yeah, so you see a lot of guys that have great seasons, and they don't get that kind of push from the national media and
I
all
don't
that
even think
stuff.
Deshaun Watson did.
No,
I don't think he got it to the level of C.J.
he didn't
Stroud.
get it. He didn't get it all at once the way Stroud did because he was a little bit more of a known commodity, having played and
And his
beaten-
rookie season was 6 games.
Yeah, and having played and beaten Alabama in college, he already was kind of a known figure. Where it feels like C.J. Stroud had a big game against Georgia, but ultimately was not a level of a star of. And this is all very soft, kind of perception-y things.
Yeah.
But he wasn't as big of a star, just as far as popularity, fame-wise, coming into his rookie year as Deshaun Watson. Now he obviously had a miles better rookie year than Deshaun Watson did, even in those 6 games where I thought Deshaun was pretty good. it's just a different animal. And so, yeah, like you were saying, he's in the NBA All-Star game. He's doing all this stuff.
The Travis Scott softball game.
Yes, he walks next to Amber Rose after the
right.
softball game, and that becomes like a 12-hour story. So there is going to be a big marketing push. So that is why you combine them with they're going to play the Cowboys. I'm going to bet that's going to be at least a standalone game. I don't know how we're doing primetime. If it's
I hope
I
hope they put that game on Thanksgiving.
Well, would you consider Thanksgiving a primetime game? It's standalone.
What about the Saturday standalone games?
I don't count Saturday.
I don't either.
Yeah.
What if
Christmas
it's a
Eve?
What if it's at night, like Week 18 this last year against the Colts? Would you consider
That's possible.
I mean, that was literally in prime time.
Is it literally just the sun's down or
Yeah,
Thanksgiving?
Well, Christmas
Sun's
is
down or Thanksgiving, yes.
And Christmas is on a Wednesday this year, so that's gonna be a weird week. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans got the Black Friday game. Like they're gonna. I think is it the Jets said they want to play in it every year?
Well, it was
the
last
Jets
year.
or the
think
Dolphins?
so.
It was Dolphins were in it this last year.
I think
wasn't it Jets
It was
Dolphins?
I think it was
Dolphins,
Jets Dolphins.
And I think
yeah.
one of the teams declared they would like to make it
the official
their
team
thing.
of Black Friday.
I
Well,
guess
I mean
so.
that's what the Lions did, and now 70 years later they're on Thanksgiving.
We
every day.
somehow let them keep it. Everyone was just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
And so you got to get in on the ground floor.
Yeah, five seems wild. The other two that we were just talking about, Sean, was the Texans themselves have way more hype and excitement than Deshaun Watson's Texans ever had.
You throw in D'Amico too. D'Amico's more well liked, more well thought of.
More than Bill O'Brien?
Than Bill O'Brien nationally, locally too, but nationally.
By everyone that's ever met them.
By anyone who's ever touched a football. I think they have everything going for them, and we'll see it more. This is prediction for July, August content. The Texans are going to be a very popular team to come out of the AFC. They're going to be a very popular team that's going to get talked about as possibility to dethrone Patrick Mahomes.
They already are. Like we did on the Killer Bees this week, we found like multiple different articles from multiple different outlets where they are ranking the AFC teams, and the one that we did most recently had the Texans third, only behind the Chiefs and the Ravens. So the hype is already there.
Yeah, I think it'll only build as we get closer.
Yeah, we're all worried about Tony Pollard.
Yeah, exactly.
To bring it all back.
Yeah,
to the
to bring it
original.
back.
We're so scared of Tony Pollard.
Yeah, to bring it back, the Titans aren't going to be one of those teams.
All right, Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Joe George, live at LaBerge in Lake Charles. We're outside at the Sportsbook. Awesome spots to watch the games. Arizona's up 40-26, first game of Saturday. Congrats to the Cougs and A&M, both advancing. We will air that game tomorrow when they play each other on ESPN 97.5. And good thing for the Cougs in that game is that Jack Easterby is apparently Team A&M. So
is that a worse curse than Ted Cruz?
We're going to find out tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll see how badly the Cougs beat the Aggies.
Aggies might have both of them there.
That's true. They might. It is the Bullpen here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
Joe, Brian, and Sean live here at LaBerge in Lake Charles. Great place to come watch games for March Madness. We're in day 3 of the Madness. BMAC, the one thing I always wish is I wish the Saturday and Sunday games were a little less spread out, but it's still always a great time.
I'm glad I'm not alone with that. I've always hated that when we get to the first weekend, you have 2 games like by themselves before we get a bunch of games bunched together. There should at least be 2 games going on at once.
We are joined now by Pedro Muniv. He's the multi-outlet general manager here. Just at the Sportsbook or at LaBerge overall?
We're at the Sportsbook, Johnny Sanchez Mexican Restaurant, the pool, and Daiquiri Dogs.
Nice. Daiquiri Dogs is on my to-do list today.
Oh, man, it's a great spot.
You got any recommendations?
Oh, yeah. We get you a lucky dog. We
Okay.
got 9 different daiquiri machines to choose from. And I'm a Frito
Sounds like
pie
the
guy.
perfect amount of daiquiri machines.
All day long.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. So
Happy to be here.
this has been an awesome experience so far. I got here yesterday. Mostly was inside the Sportsbook, but this is an awesome atmosphere. So your Daiquiri Dogs, the pool, all of this, there's some great vibes here at LaBerge.
All over the property. Plenty
Yeah.
of good places to come and just hang out, get away for the weekend, have a great time for sure.
What's some of your favorite things to do?
Oh, man, you got to get a day out at this pool. I think if you start early, we open it up about 8 o'clock in the morning, get your day going, and then once we start opening up the restaurants, you got plenty of options to come get some good food, good beverage.
Speaking of good food, we've all visited the buffet here at the Sportsbook, and I got to tell you, the boudin egg rolls were the best thing I've eaten in quite a while. Those were fantastic, so kudos to those.
I've eaten so many of those in the last 3 days, they almost charged me for the price tag, man. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you, I give you credit because, you're looking pretty good for a guy that's eating that many boudin egg rolls.
Thank you.
Because, I could eat all of them as well. So, so tell us a little about, the LaBerge and the restaurants here and what you're doing on a day-in and day-out basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what it's been like for you guys.
We've got a wide variety, like I said, from Mexican restaurants into the sports bar into our higher end with Ember, some Oriental through Asia. And then we have quick menus through Daiquiri and Dogs and outside at the pool as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of different good spots, good seafood at Drago's. So whatever you're looking for, we got it for you.
I got to ask you, I'm assuming Daiquiri Dogs serve some hot dogs, right?
They sure do.
So there's a guy at our station that puts ketchup on absolutely everything, and I got to get you to weigh in a debate specifically. Does ketchup belong on a hot dog, or is it mustard only for you?
So it's not mustard only.
Okay.
I don't use ketchup.
Thank you.
You guys
All
are going
right.
to get mad at me maybe. I'm a mayonnaise on a hot dog guy.
Man, I don't know.
Okay.
I thought ketchup was a bad take. Now, it doesn't seem as bad.
I've tried it. It's not my speed.
Right.
I prefer just mustard on a hot dog.
Can't
but
go wrong with it.
I've tried the mayo on the hot dog. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
I get why people like it. Yeah, I get why people like it. It's not my speed, but I'll go for it. I remember I've seen people put everything on a hot dog.
On eggs, on chicken.
It's a blank canvas, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen people put barbecue sauce on hot dogs before.
Hell yeah.
That's a different one. I might have to try that one. You know what? In a
That's
corn
good.
dog, maybe.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Dip it
Yeah.
in the corn dog. But, I don't know why. Don't know when I started, but it's been mayonnaise over ketchup for me.
All right, so one more food debate question for you. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
That debate really divides the nation online.
It's just a bun shaped differently, right?
Exactly.
I guess we could call it a sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
I say
it's meat between a bun.
I'm rolling with him. I think it's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
I'm a no on that one.
You're outvoted, Joe.
I know
2-1.
It's 2-1.
Now,
brother.
we did once upon a time have a discussion about is a cheeseburger a sandwich?
Yes.
Now, that I agree with.
It's meat between a bun.
Yeah, that I'm fine with.
I'm still rocking with that. Yeah, it's a sandwich.
All right, so tell us about some of the drink stuff you guys got. Obviously, we're from Houston. We were at Carbach on Thursday.
We do, and we hold the Carbach here, and that's one of the locals that we use for the Houston beers. We got over 20 on tap. All your favorites, anywhere ranging from Dos Equis, Michelob Ultra, Coors Light, all the good stuff, man. So plenty of options for everybody.
Yeah, you got a team you like in the tournament this year?
I'm from Houston originally.
Okay.
Been out here about 9 years now, and they all give me a hard time for it. But I'm going for the Cougs,
Good.
man. I'm going for the Cougs.
As you should.
Yeah.
We work with the guy Jeremy Brand. He's the play-by-play voice of the Cougs on the radio.
Very
so
cool.
we're kind of very well connected. Now, Brian and Sean both went to UT.
Okay.
So they're more, Texas guys.
Hey,
but
man, Longhorns can win it too, man. We're hoping they do well too.
I got some good odds today.
Yeah.
Well, because they're going against Rick Barnes. We know his tournament history.
They're like plus 270. I think I might
That's
get.
looking
I
good.
might get on Texas today.
So
yeah.
the Cougs keeping the Texas connection going against the Aggies today. You feel confident in that matchup?
That's a big one.
Aggies look pretty good in round one.
They do look pretty good. I think U of H got smacked around a couple days ago
Against
before
Iowa
the
State,
tournament.
yeah.
But I think it was good for them to get that out of the way, and so I'm still rocking with the Cougs, man. I'm feeling good about them.
So before we let you go, I mean, you guys have kind of gone through, a recent rebrand out here at the sportsbook. It looks awesome. I was here once before, and then now coming back here again today. It's a great atmosphere, but I love when you walk into the sports book and you've got the tables right there too. That's a little bit different. I haven't seen a lot of that. Like having the blackjack and roulette right there when you walk in.
As soon as you walk in,
it's a really cool thing to have and on the game and have the games on at the same time.
It gives you the optionality, right? Obviously, we'd love the casino floor, but if you're just looking to hang out in a calmer environment in the restaurant, it gives you another option to come out and play some game, man.
Any go-to food item for you here? When you're at the
He's
sportsbook?
got the death burger. He's got the half of a
hold
cow.
on. What's on the death burger?
It is exactly that, man. It's probably the spiciest thing I've ever had, ever.
All right. Lay it out. What type of peppers we got on this thing?
You know what? Lyle's about to jump on here in a
Lyle's
little bit.
All right.
Lyle's
Well, we
gonna
might
go
ask
o'clock.
Lyle. That's true.
And
Good
Chef
call.
Lyle's going to go through his recipes, but I'll tell you what.
I am intrigued.
You won't forget it.
I am intrigued.
Interesting. All right, he is Pedro Neve, the multi-outlet general manager here at LaBerge. The pool, Daiquiri Dogs, the sports book as well. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us out, man.
Man,
this
it's a
place is
pleasure. So happy to have you guys join us, man. It's a great event, and hopefully we get what we want at the end with the Cougs, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for a Cougs championship.
Absolutely.
This year, it's about time that they get a W.
I agree.
And get a championship under their books. All right, it is the Bullpen here on ESPN 97.5 and ESPN 92.5. When we get back, there's a lot of questions about Joe Mixon and the contract that was given out to him by the Houston Texans. We'll discuss that when we get back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
You're listening to The Bullpen, live from the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios located at LaBerge Casino Resort in Lake Charles. Here's Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
Bullpen coming to you live from LaBerge Lake Charles. We are going to, at some point today, make a team bet. We're gonna make an Astros bet today. What you guys been thinking about this? What do you guys want to do?
I kind of lean Astros World Series, right? Let's go big or go home. Or is that not good enough odds for you?
No, the World Series is. I don't know what it is here. Yesterday, I was looking for it a little bit. I thought I saw plus 700.
I'll defer to you guys, but that's good enough odds for me.
That is good odds. I kind of want to do something a little bit spicy, or something that we can track a little bit.
Okay.
Like throughout this,
like a win total.
Like a win. I think a win total. That way we can, live and die every June 15th
instead of just waiting till October.
Yeah, because
I'm fine with that.
It's
Okay.
very
I can
wait
get in
until
with that.
October. Yes, no. Where this is would be more of a journey.
Sure, more content. I'm with that.
I'm always team content.
100%.
I don't know. Do they have player props we could do? Because that would also be funny to do like
a Jake Myers.
Yeah,
Jake Myers is the first name I thought of.
Yeah,
I was thinking Jake Myers or Jose Abreu.
Yeah, because you can just download the ESPN Bet app while you're here in Lake Charles and
Rando Astro player prop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Oh, a little parlay.
Little
we each
Jose
pick-
Abreu,
we each pick
Jake Myers, Jeremy Pena parlay.
not Jake Myers. Unless I can get an over/under on Jake Myers strikeouts.
I don't know if that one will be on the board.
Hey, he was good this spring. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, he was, but I don't know. Bregman just hit his first tank of spring training, apparently. So
Maybe a Bregman MVP contract year Bregman.
Man, that better be really good odds.
It probably will be.
It'd probably be massive
will.
odds.
It's got to be better than the World Series odds.
I see Hunter Brown, Justin Verlander, Christian Javier. They're all three of them are plus 6,000 to win the Cy Young. So they have the now Frommer's like plus 1,000. I think it is.
I'd be game on a Javier Cy Young bet.
That's what I was I had one last year. I just
Did you really?
I did. I thought after
he was coming off a no-hitter in the
I
World
know.
Series. I don't blame you for that.
I was like, I feel like I'm gonna go with this. And I think it was plus 5,000 last year. It obviously did not work out well for me. No. So it did not go well. I think the Astros win total this year is I think it's in the low 90s.
I'm definitely game for that.
Yeah, no, because we've talked about it before. You look around the rest of the American League. There's not really another team that's like going to eat up a lot of those wins. Now they're going to play more. Obviously they're going to play a lot of AL West games, but actually with the new scheduling,
than usual,
yeah, with the new scheduling, it will be fewer than usual. You get more NL teams as well. Yeah, you said 91.5.
This looks like 92.5.
I would take the over on that.
Yeah, I'm not betting on the under on the Astros.
No, hell no.
Yeah, it's either
that's
over.
the bet then.
It's either over or no bet. Yeah, I think that's definitely
all right.
That's definitely the show bet.
All right, so we're taking the over. We're gonna do that. We'll do it
We're
here
each
during
putting
one
in
of the breaks.
$5,000 and betting on.
Where's Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, I'm gonna need some eBay money if I'm gonna put in $5,000.
I just wanted to throw a unit out there. I'm sorry.
Give me that $4.5 million on the Astros right now. Taking the over.
Maybe that's why he lost so much money because he kept betting on the Angels.
I mean, it would make sense.
Angels not making any not making any playoffs.
Between Shohei, at least theoretically, allegedly, all the out there betting on the Angels, the Lions guys maybe betting on the Lions, and Calvin Ridley betting on the Falcons. Can someone on a good team bet on themselves, please?
Know your team history.
Are you guys?
Can Travis Kelce throw a couple nickels on the Chiefs to win or win the Super Bowl?
Maybe Taylor Swift did.
I mean, she can.
What if she just got super? You saw the
$4.5 million is couch change for her.
You saw the Bruno Mars story. How he's $50 million in debt at the Bellagio.
Yeah.
How? How do you do that?
Because he loves poker and he sucks at it. Apparently.
Those big glasses he wears aren't hiding the type of hand he's got.
Maybe they're showing his hand.
Yeah, I was going to say they're polarized.
There we go. He keeps shoving with 7-3 offsuit.
And
everyone's
like, dude, I can see your cards, but I'm just going to take your $50 million.
I know you missed the flush on that river, man. I got you, okay?
Gosh, I I just never. I know. Like, look, even we have chump change money compared to what these Bruno Mars and Ipe have.
Speak for yourself.
The Mapes Estate.
Hey.
I forgot about that.
I've been at the LaBerge for, 12 hours? No,
Yeah.
15 hours
Sean
now.
no longer needs this
Yeah,
job. He's making too much
actually,
money.
Joe, I was going to have a conversation with you on Monday.
Put in that 2 weeks. Don't be coming asking back for more money here in a couple weeks, Sean. We lose it all. I am plus money on this trip so far.
Oh,
Yeah, that is the most shocking thing.
I know you play blackjack.
We were playing video blackjack. I was up on. We ended up winning on that, and then
I did not, in case you're wondering.
Yeah,
You did not play or did you not win money?
The second one.
Okay.
and then I took the under in one of the games last night, the live under, and it was 131.5, and I missed it by 1.5 points.
Oof.
And
was
then I
tough.
had Grand Canyon.
Yeah, Grand Canyon got the upset last
I
night.
had them +4.
Nice.
So it's a small wager, and then I got. So what do I have so far? I've got Arizona, Dayton. I got the over in that game.
I think it's 40-32.
Yeah, which means I'm about on pace because it's 149 was the total.
That's
you're
literally
gonna
on
be
pace.
sweating that one.
I got the over 152 in Gonzaga, Kansas, and then I've got over 228 points in the Rockets Jazz game tonight.
Are you an overs only guy?
Most of the
It
time.
sounds like you're an overs only
It's just-
guy.
I mean,
I know it's more fun, but
that's what it is. It's like I want to enjoy.
He did bet an under last night.
I bet the live under and I lost.
so you're never going to bet an under
It
again.
might be my last one of my life. It's more fun. Like it's just,
I get it. I get it.
Like I don't want to now. That's not. I do bet unders.
On the Bears.
Iowa football.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good call.
If it's a Big Ten game, I mean, I definitely bet on that game this year where the over/under was like 14.5 points.
What didn't
or
the game
whatever it
finish
was.
with like 3 points total?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 3-0
Yeah,
the
it was
final?
like it was 3-0.
Oh, my God.
I love betting. I will say I love betting like Iowa, Northwestern unders.
Yeah, if a game is getting played, especially a college football game, is getting played north of Kansas in the Central Time Zone, just bet the under.
Yeah.
Just bet
As
the
long
under.
as Ohio State's not involved,
Right.
like take the under.
Yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State, you're good to go. What do you guys think about the Joe Mixon contract they got handed out? Because there's obviously some pushback to it because the dollar figures. It's not the most massive contract, but were you guys surprised, A, they gave it to him, and then B, what'd you think of the deal?
I was definitely surprised because I thought the idea, the move, and like the way that I was going to be on board with it, despite my reservations about how much he has left in the tank, was the fact that you're only going to be paying like $6 million on 1 year remaining of his contract, and then you move on. So there was really no worry about a downside risk. But now you have a running back going to age 28 season who hasn't been efficient since like 2018, and you're giving him. While it is only $13 million guaranteed, that basically does guarantee a second season with the Texans. I don't think he gets all 3 years, but he at least gets 2. And you're paying him more than Tony Pollard and DeAndre Swift got. Joe Mixon, I think 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. You could definitely argue he's played better than those two players. But I didn't see – it was more so I didn't see why they had to do it. I mean, what public pressure was there going to be to give a guy with Joe Mixon's background and age more money? There was going to be no public outcry from Texans fans to give him this money. It feels like you just threw away, from $6 million to $13 million. It feels like you threw away $7 million to what? Make Joe Mixon happier? I mean, it felt like an unnecessary move.
There is something about you mentioned the public reaction to it. If you're already going to take the hit of the public reaction of signing him. And might as well. It's not going to get worse by extending it. But I think I don't love it. Like you mentioned, I hope though I am not over the hill as I am also entering my age 28 season. I hope.
Man, I felt great at
Brian,
28. You're all right.
I hope.
Brian's Death Burger.
Oh,
here.
my God, the Death Burger is here. Holy crap. Should I eat this on air?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
Okay, all
yes,
right,
for
all
sure.
right.
So
right into the
So
microphone.
Pedro said it
my
was
God.
very spicy. Oh, they just said good
Oh,
luck to
am I going to
He
die?
gave me the prayer hands.
He gave me
too.
prayer hands.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love
gonna
that.
die. Oh, my God. Okay. All right,
That's
here we
great.
go. You boys keep talking. I'm going to take a
All right,
bite.
let's mute your
right.
mic a little bit if we're going to do that, just so you don't die on air on accident.
No. Okay.
You
I
want
thought-
to hear it?
Well, I thought the people would want to hear the smacking.
Oh, he's all in on this burger. I love this.
Good,
This is
strong first bite.
this is good first
strong,
bite.
strong first. Yeah.
It's a little spicy.
We got it. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Everyone's watching him.
Yeah, we now have a crowd.
I was a little confident at first. The heat didn't hit at first, and then, okay, I'm going to go back on mute. All right, yeah.
I feel a little insulted that there wasn't a crowd at any point here to watch the show until the Death Burger came out.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I feel like we got a lot of rubberneckers now.
Oh, man, that's incredible. I didn't think it was – the way Brian's voice cracked on the air was awesome. That was the best part of it right there. He does look like he's handling it like a champ.
Yeah, he
so
went back. Let the record
again.
show he went back for a second bite, which is great. It speaks to his resilience.
I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer.
Do we have another like 2 hours of the show?
Yeah, we have another, something
God,
like that.
are we gonna have to? Are we gonna have to carry you through the rest of this?
Mount Rushmore +1 is spicy burgers. That's first on the list.
Yeah,
that is a spicy burger.
Have a fry. Take a little bit of
take a little bit of the heat off.
Yeah,
all right,
take
that's
a
a good
little
idea.
bit. Cleanse the palate a little bit.
Man, that has a good amount of heat, man.
Now,
that's nice.
If they were funny, they would put some spice in the
the fries.
Cajun fries.
I pull back a fry. There's a whole habanero in there.
Oh man. Yeah. So Joe Mixon. It's a surprising contract, like you guys said. Like in terms
I
of,
just like, what was the need for it?
Yeah, that's exactly. Because if you trade a 7th round pick and you only had him for a year and he walks in the offseason,
you're basically signing him to a 1 year, $6 million contract.
Yeah, I would have been good with that because I would still like them to take a running back in this draft.
That's what it is to me. It speaks to maybe this could be some sort of some succession plan going on here where Joe Mixon's going to be your lead back, like you mentioned. Doesn't have awesome efficiency, yards per rush.
Yeah,
but he still is 1,000 yards each of the last, you said, 4 years.
Mm-hmm. I think it's 4 years in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. So he basically every year he's healthy. He can tote it for you, and so
he's a great receiving back.
He's a great, a true 3-down back, and so you could talk me into the plan, and we'll see on April 28th.
Yeah,
is that they draft some? I guess it'll be on the 29th or 30th because they don't have a pick in the first round, but they draft a running back who then overtakes Mixon in year 2 as maybe not overtakes him, but it's more of a split duty situation.
And then Mixon's gone into that third year of the contract.
Yes.
Doesn't actually play here. So that's right. I honestly, I'm good with all of that. Like that sounds like a good plan to me. The biggest thing with drafting a running back though is it's a weird class. I think that's why these guys kind of got paid in the way they did. Because I was surprised that the contracts were handed out
100%.
to Swift and Pollard.
I think that was my takeaway because one of the overreacted to the NFL offseason articles I saw was like the running back market's back, and I don't think it actually. I'm struggling. You could probably hear it in my voice, but I don't think it's back. I think it's exactly what you said. Teams with the running back need looked at the draft class like, well, if we need to fix this position. It's not in the draft.
Yeah.
Arguably the best running back in the draft is coming off an ACL surgery. We don't know when he's going to be back. So if we have the need, we have to fill that in free agency.
Yeah,
and that boosted the market.
It definitely boosted the market enough to where it got them paid a little bit. But if you think about it, I mean, all these running backs combined got less guaranteed money than Kirk Cousins did.
Yeah.
Like Saquon Barkley, Swift, Pollard, all these guys. Like, you combine all the running backs who are signing free agency, they got less money guaranteed than Kirk Cousins. That's wild.
That is insane. I do think a small part of this is the cap going up a little bit. So just like the
wiggle room.
And the sticker price is like what used to be a $6 million deal is now an $8 million deal. And so it looks, it gives the impression that the market is bouncing back, but it's just kind of rising with the rate of salary cap inflation. I was thinking about the.
You said salary crap, and did you?
Yeah,
not? Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking about what's going to be in your future.
I thought you were doing a callback.
No,
to my Jose Altuve blunder.
Yeah.
So what's your strategy here now, Brian? Are you gonna just
not die? Not die. Is,
Survive.
Honestly, I feel like
survive in advance, Joe. It's March Madness, baby.
good luck surviving that drive 2 hours home.
Oh God, yeah. I'm feeling it, man.
Pray for every gas
Dude.
station between here and Houston.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really sucks. That there's a lot of times, Brian, where there's not a lot of gas
it's
stations.
It's just water and gators a lot of the way. It's
Yeah.
it's gonna be a fight for survival.
Oh man, maybe we should go to that gator farm. That's
there's
our
a-
next weekend remote. That
yeah.
gator farm you guys want to go to.
There's a dangerous level of burning on my lips right now. I gotta say.
Dangerous level of burning.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I might need a hospital.
I feel like I need to. I feel like we just turned into Hot Ones with Sean Evans. I need to tell you, hey, don't touch your eyes. By the way,
Yeah.
It's a good tip. I'm not.
That's like I remember. Okay, I remember the first time my buddy got crawfish. He didn't know to like wash his hands.
Oh no.
What a mistake he made.
yeah. That is a big one, and that is one of the things watching Hot Ones that you see.
Yeah.
And it's like watching. I don't know. Maybe this is a weird metaphor for me to use on this show with you two.
Okay.
But it's like watching your baby pick up something dangerous, where you're like, oh no, when someone like starts going for their eyes
Yeah.
after eating something spicy.
Yeah.
I've had many of those moments. Like
Yeah.
there was a time where we like little bitty pins that were used to like hem something up. My daughter picks up, she's just twirling it around her head like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I remember honestly to combine the two, we took Joseph with us one time to go get crawfish, and it was the worst mistake I've ever made.
Did he have some?
No, but he tried. Like he tried to like reach and touch it, and I'm like,
Because his hands would have immediately gone to his eyes.
yeah,
Yeah.
or like just like his
Yeah.
mouth, and I'm like, and how do you help like a 3-year-old like with like if they're all of a sudden their mouth feels like they're on fire for the
Yeah.
first time in their life from spice? I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm like, we have to have a babysitter at all times when we go get crawfish. All right, well, we're gonna take a break.
Oh yeah. I need
That's
one.
Brian
my
might
God.
need a babysitter here.
Yeah.
All right, what's the state of the
How much of the
Astros?
show do we have left?
2 more hours to go.
Oh,
State of the
boy.
Astros rotation. That's
Woo!
next here on ESPN 97.5, 92.5.
You are listening to The Bullpen, live from the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios located at La Berge Casino Resort in Lake Charles. Here's Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
All right, hour 2 of the show here on ESPN 97.5, 92.5, coming to you from the Sportsbook at LaBerge in Lake Charles. Obviously, great time of the year for March Madness. Sean, how you guys feeling about UT? Feel like are we going to get a win here tonight?
I thought they were going to lose round 1, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought there's definitely a chance. I definitely
Especially as they started to blow the second half lead the same way they did against Kansas State in the Big 12 tournament.
Yes, and it was also pretty similar to the Miami game from last year. But I'm glad I didn't have to watch Virginia play Texas because that would have been actual hell on earth. Although Colorado State did a pretty good impression in the first half. But drawing Rick Barnes in the second round.
It's a plus.
It's a plus. It's annoying, but it's a plus. Of any of the 2 seeds that you'd want, they're probably the one.
I think Rick Barnes. Correct me
Yeah,
if
they're
I'm
probably
wrong.
the one. Yeah, they're the 2 seed you want to see.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but I believe Rick Barnes won his entire Texas tenure, which was like 12, 13 years, without ever being a higher seeded team in the tournament.
Ooh, I
Fact check me on that.
I
but
mean, it sounds
I'm
right.
90% sure that's correct.
It sounds about right. He lost to plenty of seeds that are lower.
And that's
seeds.
the point. Like,
Yeah.
to your point about like of all the number 2 seeds that the Longhorns could draw,
Yeah.
you have faith in facing Tennessee with Rick Barnes because of his tournament history, never being not that Texas is a higher seed, but never being a higher seed.
There we go.
And
Here's
always getting
Brian's
knocked out.
milk is here.
All the milk
there
is
we
here.
go.
Bless you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Now I can
Incredible.
actually survive in advance and take another bite of this burger.
Everyone's face just lights up every time they see you. It's struggle through this
that's so
burger.
good. Oh, that's so good.
You've made the day of everyone who works
I
at
know.
LaBerge.
They like, let's sucker in this Houston, this soft ass Houston
Yeah.
boy into biting.
Hey,
into
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Hey, Texans here. Let's challenge his manhood and make him. Have you ever heard the saying "Pride before the fall"?
All right. Well, I have
Basically, the Texas State
I have
motto.
I have a special request, though, for you guys.
Okay.
Okay. This will not be our only trip here this year.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll be on the weekends again next time or whatnot, but I believe one of them will be during the week, and we're going to make Paul come to this. So
Okay.
we got to make sure we don't tell him about what's on this burger.
You want to find a way to get him to eat the death
I
burger?
want Paul to eat the death
Maybe
burger.
or a wing.
Paul
They're
doesn't-
telling us about death wing. I forgot what
Yeah.
it's called. It's like
Paul
death by
said as
wings.
long
or
as there's
something.
no cheese, he'll probably
There
eat
is cheese on this burger, but you could probably get him to
That-
take it off.
That'd be the funniest thing in the world if
Paul
Paul
doesn't-
was like, "Can you take the cheese off of this death burger that
The
I'm about
only
to
thing
eat?"
cutting through the heat, yeah. Paul doesn't seem like a guy that likes a lot of like hot spice.
No, I just want to see Paul eat
I
it.
know he loves Italian food. That's like the one. That's what he cooks.
as
But
least spicy as possible.
yeah, there's only like was it Frau Diab? I can't remember the term of the dish, but there is like one spicy Italian dish, but there's not many.
Yeah, I would love to see Paul eat the death
Should I go in
burger.
for another bite? Then I'll let
Yeah,
him
go
have-
for
All
it.
right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn my back. You
He's
guys
got
talk amongst
One per
yourselves.
segment. One
You've
per
got your
segment.
milk.
That's how you get through this.
So should we get a show bet in them? Like UT is plus 275.
Plus 275.
So if we put $100 on it, we'd win 300. Like I feel like we might need to get a UT bet in here as well tonight. I'll be here to cash it out.
Okay. Yeah. We could
So-
do. I mean, I'm a famously pessimistic Longhorn, especially Longhorn basketball fan.
Yeah.
I just seen too much, Joe.
I understand.
All my good Texas athletics memories come when I was a legitimate child. So
Yeah, someone posted a graphic of Longhorn wins in the tournament since like 2009.
there's a gap. There's a big
Yeah,
gap.
it's like 2009 until last year with Rodney Terry, and I think they had
It's like one.
four tournament wins in that time. It's like a 13-year span. Well, Rodney Terry now it just the last year's tournament in the win. The 2 nights ago has also 4 wins. So
Yeah.
it's been a. I mean, even going back to the Kevin Durant years, they won their
Yeah.
first round matchup and then got run out by OJ Mayo's USC team.
Yeah.
It's
Hey.
been a.
OJ Mayo was a problem. So is
Oh.
Taj Gibson, by the way.
I mean, other than
OJ
the-
Mayo, one of those guys that like I thought was going to be a
Oh, yeah.
superstar.
All time.
Rudy Gay was another one of those. I thought Rudy Gay was going to be the, like elite,
Yeah.
and then
You know the
Brandon Roy before he got hurt.
yeah, I think he would have been.
He would.
because he was still pretty good.
He was awesome. Yeah, it's same thing on. I mean, this. Watch out, Portland Trailblazers fans. But same thing with Greg Oden too. That's why I push back on Greg Oden being called like one of the biggest busts in history. It's
Yeah.
like no, when he played, he was awesome
That actually-
in the NBA. he
was
played
always
like
hurt.
82 games for the Portland Trailblazers over 3 years.
One of the Barstool podcasts, actually, I just remembered this. I listened to it this week. On Monday, they do a draft on one of the shows.
Oh, yeah.
And this year they did
Revolutionary topic.
I know. Players you thought would be NBA stars.
Oh, we just stumbled into this.
Yeah.
Wow.
The number one pick was Mark Titus, who played for Ohio State.
Yeah.
He was through the ringer. He had the first pick in the draft. He took Adam Morrison.
Huh.
I don't remember ever thinking that Adam Morrison was going to be a star.
I wonder how much
Well,
of that.
he was the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, but dumb Michael Jordan took him.
I wonder
I'm
how
with
much,
you. I never looked at Adam Morrison's game as like future NBA
But
star.
you know who probably did look at Adam Morrison's game as future NBA star? Mark Titus, whose game was probably a lot like a poor man's Adam Morrison.
Yeah, it's more like he looked in the mirror and
Yeah,
saw
he was like, man,
skin color and was like, yeah, that's a star.
maybe he can figure it out, and then maybe I can figure it out.
There's still time for me.
The number 2 pick was Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah.
That one I agree with. I thought he was going to be.
Well, he was a great. I thought a lot of people thought
Basically
he could be
Steph Curry.
Yeah, I was going to say J.J. Redick to keep it white, but that was a really weird thing to say. But yeah,
Can you clip that, Belmer? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Belmer. But I thought he could at least come in the league and be a good spot up shooter.
Yeah,
but obviously didn't work out.
All right, the third pick they took was Emeka Okafor.
Ooh,
I thought he was going to be.
Emeka Okafor wasn't a bust though. I don't think.
No,
he was still a good
They
player.
players they thought were going to be stars.
Oh, stars.
That's
okay.
the list.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, and some of
Big
this
Gordon was better off of that UConn team in the pros.
He was Chicago Bull legend, Ben Gordon.
Fact.
Also he had like a 45-point game against the Celtics in like 08 or something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Okafor did?
No, Ben Gordon.
Oh, Ben Gordon.
Yeah, Okafor was interesting because he was obviously on that UConn team, and he was getting compared. He was the 2 pick behind Dwight Howard that year, who's coming out of high school. And so, in general, people just are kind of default to, well, I saw this guy play. I didn't watch Dwight Howard high school basketball, so let me kind of default to Emeka Okafor.
Doesn't Okafor have Houston ties?
He might.
I don't remember.
He might.
I'll Google it during the break when I'm not dying from the death break.
There was looks like one player drafted from UT.
Oh, okay.
T.J. Ford.
Let's guess.
T.J. Ford.
T.J. Ford. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's who would you? Damian
DJ
James.
Augustine. I don't know.
Damian James. If I was on that draft, A.J. Abrams.
A.J. Abrams, yeah, he was a good spot-up shooter.
Well, it is funny, like, listening to these guys as they're making their picks, and, like, I'm like one of them took D. Brown. And I'm like, okay, guys, I know you're from Illinois. I never thought D. Brown was going to be a star in the NBA. They were fun.
I would throw in there because he was also, I'm pretty sure, a lottery pick, but off the North Carolina team that won in 05, Sean May. I thought Sean May was.
Oh, he got picked.
Oh, he did get picked.
Really?
I didn't think he was going to be a superstar, but I thought he was at least going to be.
I thought so too.
Like a low-level All-Star caliber player, and he obviously didn't do anything in the league.
This isn't one. Oh, I guess it's kind of one. It was more like when he got to the NBA and was like still a young prospect on the Celtics, and then got traded for Kevin Garnett. I was a big Al Jefferson guy.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
okay.
that was like the last legs of like. I think this low post technician can really be a star in the NBA. He was basically the last guy to get that kind of rub.
So how many more names are there on the list?
So they have 25 picks. So we're not going to go through all of them.
Wayne Ellington from North Carolina.
You love North Carolina players. Marvin Williams, were you a big Marvin Williams guy?
Hell yeah, he's the second overall pick. Atlanta Hawks drafted him, right?
No, they didn't take either of those guys.
Man, I thought Marvin Williams was going to be on the list.
I thought he would be too.
Because they probably didn't take all UNC players.
There was a lot of mid-2000s UNC teams that were the guys that not live up. Yeah. Keep going. We can keep going. There's a lot of guys there from that program that didn't live up to expectations.
Yeah.
Who's the point guard?
The fourth pick,
Ty Lawson.
They took Keith Van Horn. I don't know if I ever got that vibe.
I watched him as a kid, but
I don't white guys on this list.
Yeah.
I don't remember his game well enough. I mean, I watched him as a kid.
But that's college basketball 101.
Yeah, I guess that
white
that's
guys who can shoot.
And then you think
Or
they're going to
just
be good at the NBA, and they don't play in
white
the NBA.
guys that are stars, and it's like, oh, actually,
Golke.
Yeah, Golke, our boy.
The guy that looks like Gary Kubiak.
He does have a Kubiak hairline.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough hairline.
St. Pius X legend, Gary.
But then again, when you're in like your 8th year of college, you're going to have sometimes deteriorating headline.
I saw that. I was like, wow. So he's like not much younger than I am.
No, he looks like he's in his mid-30s.
Yeah, because they said he played 4 years D2 basketball.
I think he played
No, I think this might be his 5th year or 6th year in college.
Yeah.
It's at least his 5th, which like I don't understand those people. Like is it there's a kid at Miami?
Yeah.
Or
The tight
Florida
end. There was a tight end in Miami who got like a 7th or 8th year of eligibility.
Yeah, why?
The Miami guy was the high school class of 2016. And he's still in college. For reference, I was in the high school class of 2014, and I've worked at Gal Media for 4 years.
I know
You still got eligibility left, Sean.
I do. I have a lot of eligibility.
I really want to see if Paul actually has eligibility. If we can try to get him on that team, the University of Mississippi for women.
Yeah.
That McNeese State played.
Well, he is an ally.
And yeah, we learned yesterday. I don't know if you caught the show. Paul's phone has been getting blown up by notifications all about like
Princess
Kate.
Yeah.
The women's NCAA tournament. Anything to do with like women, like is like all of a sudden his phone he's getting all these notifications that no one else is getting. So what we realize is that he's trying to do white knight so hard that his phone is convinced that
his phone
that's
is
all he
listening
cares
to
about.
him and is catering to
Yeah.
them.
That tracks.
Yeah.
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 I believe all of that.
Yeah,
that tracks.
Paul doesn't get normal notifications
No.
anymore. All right, we're going to take a break. I believe Matt Holland, is going to be joining us next year, the assistant manager of the sportsbook here at LaBerge. That's next year on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
You are listening to The Bullpen, live from the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios located at LaBerge Casino Resort in Lake Charles. Here's Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
Joe George, Sean Mapes, Brian McDonald, he's here somewhere. He's finishing his death burger. He's got his milk. So.
I can confirm proof of life. He's still with us.
Alive. He's just not going to be on the air this segment because he's got to finish his death burger. He says he's going to finish it before he gets back on the show. So we'll see how long that takes. But we're joined now by Matt Holland, the assistant sportsbook manager here at LaBerge, Lake Charles. First of all, beautiful setup.
Thanks.
This patio is awesome.
It's a great spot to watch a game. It really is, especially when the weather cooperates with like it is today. It's perfect. It really is.
Yeah, it is like you said, it's beautiful out here right now. To have all the different TV options. It sounds like it was awesome here last night. We were inside last night during the games towards the end of the night. But this is a really cool spot. So Brian's eating the death burger. So we like food on the show. So we'll start there. What's your go-to?
I'm simple. I like the wings.
Okay.
You go to other venues and you sometimes get the smaller portions, over battered, whatever it is. You get the jumbo wings over here. You cut them yourself. a lot of meat to it. The flavors, it's not a generic seasoning. They actually have their own personalities and stuff like that. And there's a good variety. So, you just really can't go wrong with them.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so how are you feeling about March Madness so far? How's it been going for you personally? How's it going overall for the book?
So, personally, ever since I got into this business, I actually haven't filled out a bracket because we normally have so much going on. I don't even want to worry about my own personal finances when I got the businesses to worry about.
Sure.
But for the book, it's been great. The action has been good. We're not really up or down a whole lot, but the action has been there. And I mean, from big action to smaller action, casual bettors.
Yeah.
The fact that we have so many people in the room driving the numbers, it's just fun. And it's a good atmosphere because it's not just the Texas A&Ms and the Texans or Texas. You have people pulling for Dayton or, Marquette, whatever it is.
I'm sure Oakland, too.
Oakland was awesome.
Yeah.
And just because nobody knows anything about Oakland
in
this area.
And they got the dude with the hairline pulling up.
But on the 10th three, you're just sitting there, you're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And, of course, he's going to be, a story going forward. Yeah. I saw the stat. That kid has attempted 8 2-point field goals the entire season.
We were talking about this.
And you just don't hear those stories unless it's this time of year.
Yeah, but how many of those twos are is his toes on the 3-point line?
Oh, no, he's a shooter. He knows where the line is.
You know what?
Those were all close to the basket.
That is true.
That's a good point.
So we were saying it might have been just accidents, but you bring up a good point.
Yeah.
If anyone knows where that line is,
it's him.
It's him.
I'm not
he's
comparing
always,
him to Curry, but
it.
Curry knows where his toe needs to be.
Yeah.
That is true.
His job description is not point guard or shooting guard. His job description is let it rip.
Yeah.
Now, so we always talk about this is the best 4 days for a lot of people in sports, and not just because there's so much going on, all the action one after another. For you guys, what's your favorite time of year? Is it March Madness, Week 1 of the NFL, playoffs, Super Bowl?
So, personally, and from the business perspective, I think it kind of goes hand in hand. The Super Bowl is awesome, but the Super Bowl is a movie. It's going to see a feature film in a theater. Your mom and dad might not watch football, but they're going to watch the Super Bowl just like they might, buy a bucket of popcorn and go to the movies. March Madness is for people that love sports.
Yeah.
They are here for the theatrics. They're here for the drama, and it's constant. It's not just a 4-hour window on a Sunday. It's 11 to 11 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and everybody tunes into it. And it's just an atmosphere, and I like that more. I feel like the people that are passionate about sports show up for March Madness more than just the casual Super Bowl viewer. But, I mean, the Super Bowl is always the best game of the year. It's fun.
Yeah.
But this, I think, resonates and connects more with people.
And I love it so much because you mentioned that the Super Bowl, it's a 4-hour movie, essentially. This is an entire weekend, and we can just look out right now. You got groups of guys that have been here already for a couple hours. They're probably going to be here for a few more hours after this. It's just a long hangout that you can have. It's that kind of sense of community and stuff that you can really feel, like we were talking about when Oakland starts hanging in there against Kentucky. I'm sure this place was live as hell.
Well, and that's the fun thing is whenever you have 4 games going on and you hear the crowd erupt, I'm handling business, I'm taking bets, I'm talking to customers and things like that, and I hear the crowd erupt, I have to look up and figure out what happened. There's so much going on. And exactly. And then it happens again. It's like, okay, so this is the game that I'm going to have a few seconds kind of peek in on. Ultimately the numbers don't affect me. In a sense, I say I care if we win or lose, but I want people to be engaged and have fun. And whenever the games are like that, people are more inclined to stick around and watch the next game or bet on the next game because they want to be a part of it.
You want the passion.
Exactly. It's a passion.
Yeah, I think the other, one of the weekends I'm excited about this coming year, I guess it'll be next year technically, this new weekend we're going to have where the college football semifinals.
Oh, it's great.
But now they're going to be it's going to be the first weekend of the NFL playoffs too.
Oh, it's so awesome.
It's going to be like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, just like major college football playoff games. Then you're going to have the NFL playoffs. It is going to be an incredible weekend. But with March Madness this year, what's some of the games that you like? Any tips? Anything you can give us for the next day while we're here?
I mean, if I knew what I was doing betting wise, I'd be on the other side of the counter. It's safer that way. I've looked at a couple of games, I'm really eyeballing this Texas-Tennessee game.
Oh, yeah?
We were just talking about it.
Hook 'em, baby.
I have a friend of mine who recently passed away, but we would always call the Dr. Barnes game. How is Rick Barnes going to either be a genius or blow it completely? And being that it is Tennessee and Texas specifically, it's really like you can't go wrong with the Dr. Barnes corollary. It's like we like to call it. But I think Tennessee probably still has, if not the best player left in the tournament in Dalton Connect. And if Texas just does not have an answer for him, he single-handedly can win a game. And I look for those type of performances during March Madness, and especially like they didn't have a good showing in the conference tournament, but through conference play, I mean, he was 20 points a game every single game. And big players shine in big moments, and that's kind of the game. If I had a lean, I'd probably lean on Tennessee in that one. 6.5 is kind of a big number. I get the want to take that 6.5, but I just think he's going to have a day.
And that's one. Well, A, you're breaking my heart as a Longhorn.
I'm sorry.
But two, I'm used to my heart getting broken in March anyway. But two, you bring up a good point with the 6.5. That is in that zone of like, and college basketball, it kills me how much they do this. The late game fouling. Late game fouling. It's ridiculous.
The Kansas-Samford game was never going to end.
Yeah.
It was
never.
So between the reviews and the late fouling, and I understand it's part of the strategy, but that's one of the drawbacks of the viewing experience. The games can take a little bit too long.
They can, and what's frustrating so much about that game too is that
the foul
call. It drives me nuts because these games are already so long at the end of the game, but then you have this one moment where you need to get it right.
And they don't have the option.
That's the one they can't review, but they can review everything else.
Yeah. Well, we reviewed it for 5 minutes straight, and everybody going from every single angle. It was a Zap Ruder film. Like, he did not touch him.
Yeah, that's tough. We have seen. I'm curious about this. There's been a couple moments over the last like two years, really since like sports betting started to grow and become more legal, where we've seen some places give back, like after like a bad call, and refund bets and stuff like that. I personally, like as someone that loves to bet on sports, I'm like firmly against that. Like you just got to roll with the outcome of the game. Do you guys get like people who are that upset after the Samford game and feel like they kind of got screwed in a way, like if they had the Samford money line?
I think everybody knows what they sign up for.
Yeah.
And if something were to happen, we will do whatever we can for the player.
Sure.
A prime example was the Bengals-Bill game, the DeMar Hamlin game.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a situation where the Bengals were up 7-0, and certain people were kind of adamant, like, well, they covered. They canceled the game. I should win my bet. Like, no, you get your money back.
Yeah.
And the only bets that we did pay out were, like, player props. I think it was Tyler Boyd scored a touchdown, so we actually did pay out those anytime touchdowns.
Sure.
But we tried to do whatever we can in the realm of fairness. Now, the online marketplace, like with ESPN Bet and stuff like that, they will do refunds. Like the Aaron Rodgers, I think, was a popular one.
Oh, yeah, they did do that. Yeah.
Some of the books refunded it, but it's not necessarily. It's not our obligation to do that. I sympathize, with that scenario, but your hands kind of get tied at a certain point. If we can do something, we'll do it. But if not, if that's the rule, then it's the rule.
Yeah, that's tough because the Aaron Rodgers was the one that I was thinking about. It's hard because it's an injury. It's like obviously
it's part of the game.
It's a bummer. 4 plays into the NFL season, his season's over.
Yeah.
I mean the DeMar. I remember when DeMar Hamlin happened. Like I remember like in fantasy football. We were trying to figure out – it's championship week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do with it. And one of the leagues I was in, Joe Burrow was the quarterback of one team and Josh Allen was the quarterback of the other team. So we just ended up, like, splitting it down the middle. But that's where it's always – some of that stuff I imagine is hard. You mentioned anytime touchdown. Those are my favorite bets. I love it. The great odds and –
It's a sweetener.
It's a fun bet to play.
So if you have a player that you love or a matchup that you love and you like another game, if you want the Texas money, Houston Texas money line or something like that, and you throw in a Jamar Chase anytime touchdown just to get a little bit of juice on that pick. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for the parlays. That's
100%.
what I love it.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean I don't like doing like completion receptions and stuff like that. There's just I don't like sweating every single play.
Yeah.
But there is something fun about, we're inside the 20. It's time. It's the best.
And I'm a big basketball guy, so I love the points, rebounds, assists stuff where you just sprinkle in. If the Lakers are going to win, LeBron's going to have a big night. That kind of reasoning.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. I mean, ultimately the Lakers don't win that much, so the bets don't win as often as I'd like. But it allows me to have a reasoning and get some good positive value.
So I will say that you say about the Lakers, I'm neither for nor against the Lakers, but whenever they are just mediocre, it's really kind of great for the book because if people are having good days, the Lakers are always a bet-on team, and they're a West Coast team, so it's a late game, so it's always the last leg.
You either get a chase or you get I have my money.
Exactly.
Let's put it on LeBron.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
that's
we've had some good Laker results this year. We'll put it like that.
I'm sure. So we're going to we've decided we're going to do a show bet today. We're going to take the over on the Astros win total this year.
All right.
We all feel pretty good about it. Sean, do you have them? Have you decided, are they going back to the World Series?
Yes. Right now, I just decided it.
I also have decided right now they're going back to the World Series.
To the World Series.
I mean, I feel comfortable with that because I think I might get on that myself, too.
All right. 92.5.
92.5.
That's pretty good. I mean, I think the Astros are I wouldn't say easy because it's 92 wins, but it would shock me if they're not closer to 100 than they are closer to 90 at the end of the season.
I think it's realistic. It's just with baseball and my betting history, I guess you could say, the baseball season is so long. It's a 6-month investment.
Yeah.
And there's just so many little things that can happen. And 92.5, I mean, I personally feel like it's an over.
Mm-hmm.
But
they had 90 last year.
Yeah.
It was the first time. Oh, I guess the pandemic season's in the middle of that.
Yeah.
But it's the first time in a full season since I think 2017 that they didn't get over 100. And a lot of those seasons they were pretty well over 100 in those years. And that was a season last year where Yordan Alvarez missed series time.
Yep.
Where they didn't have Verlander until the deadline. And Altuve missed the start of the season.
There was a lot of injury variance.
A lot of variance that you would, theoretically, you think would at least revert back to normal variance.
You would hope so.
They got bad variance on that one.
And then you just hope it doesn't translate to, it's Kyle Tucker's turn.
Yeah,
exactly. You don't want those type of things.
All right, Matt, last question I got for you. I know you probably don't. I don't know if you have these numbers memorized. I'm sure you don't. What's the difference between over unders bet? How many more people just bet overs? Because I'm an overs only guy.
Well,
betting except last night. I bet a live under last
and he
night
got
and I
punished.
lost.
Okay, so the easiest way to explain it to you, how we view it, tickets over, money under.
That makes sense.
We have a lot more recreational bettors that nobody wants to bet. Nobody wants a boring game.
Yeah, you want fun.
So exactly, you want to incentivize. You want the over to happen. We get a lot of sharper plays, smarter plays, bigger money coming in on the under.
And that makes sense why he always bets overs.
Because I'm a schmuck.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's all for fun. It's all for fun. And whatever.
Look, all I know is I got the over on this game right now at 148.5. So I'm feeling okay so far. It's like 25 points.
You're going to be sweating a little bit.
Yeah, you need Dayton.
Not as much as the Death Valley Burger. Not as much that.
I don't need milk for my bet.
He's doing good though. It looks like he's functional.
Wow.
I mean, if he's ready to get back on the mic, I'm fine with it. If he needs
Okay.
another break,
Thank you for eating some innings.
He is Matt Holland, assistant manager, sportsbook manager here at LaBerge Lake Charles. Matt, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. And thanks for having us out here.
Hey man, we appreciate y'all being out here. Enjoy the games.
All right.
Thank you.
It is ESPN 97.5 and ESPN 92.5.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
All right, the March Madness is not the only bracket going on currently. There's another bracket. The Killer Bees Fight Club. Whose idea was this? Was this Jeremy's idea?
This was Jeremy's idea, and then I did the graphic in the open with help from Michael Carroll.
Okay.
But, yeah, originally this was Jeremy's idea.
So far, you got a couple winners.
Very close winners. So I think Joe's setting us up so he can pat himself on the back. But you're
no, because it should not have been this close.
Oh, okay. So
I love Biggie, but
the first three we're doing 3 matchups today right now. The first 3 were Adam Clanton defeating Patrick Creighton, and it was 50-50 on the Twitter vote. But when you go but when you go into it, it's like 50.5 to like 49.7. And same thing for you versus Figgy Fig.
Wow.
Joe advanced on what shows as a 50-50 split, and then Clint Sterner unfortunately wiped the floor with Dell. So. Those 3 all advance. Are you looking at the bracket right now, Joe?
I got it pulled up right now.
So you advance now to face someone you worked quite a bit with at another flagship.
This committee and the way they set up their bracket to set up these storylines.
I know.
This is Texas versus Tennessee. This is Rick Barnes versus his old team.
The committee did a good job. They gave me a favor, gave me the only guy who might be smaller than me in the market.
They really
in the first round.
Yeah.
And then the second round, they gave me one of the 2 people I've screamed at the most in my life.
Yeah,
I love dearly, but
I had beef with Jeremy. Like if I get past my first round matchup, which I will, then shout out to Chris Gordy, but I could take him. But I will then face Tyler Milner in the second round, who replaced me at the Texas flagship. So I think Jeremy was setting up some drama right there. Yeah,
that is a grudge match.
There's some spicy drama involved in this bracket.
So if you do want to vote in the matchups that are currently going, they're still on Jeremy Brandon's Twitter feed.
Still got how much time we got? We got 2 hours and 26 minutes left.
Sean needs a lot of help to beat Matt Thomas.
Look, okay, so Sean versus Matt Thomas. I made the case for Sean on air yesterday during the Killer Bees. He's got youth on his side. He's the best athlete of all the producers here at 97.5. He won the race up the stairs. He is, in fact, White Lightning. Matt Thomas is what, like 50-something? Sean's got this easy.
I love Matt. That's my dude.
Sean would take him.
But, like, he's too busy eating McRibs. like, he would get crushed.
Yeah.
100%. That would not go well.
I mean, you did just see me eat all the boudin egg rolls and brownies right now. So
I think you could further cement your
athletic prowess
if you took down the Death Burger like I did.
I think
I'm good.
How many people do you think voting in this actually understand what they're voting in?
That's a good question.
I mean,
Jeremy's not saying
it's pretty self-explanatory though, because
Jeremy's tweets don't include a fight.
No, literally, I'm looking at it. It's the last line before the poll. It says, who wins in a fight?
Yeah, I just can't read it.
How many people are like Joe and misreading
How many people can't read a tweet?
Yeah. Well, because, like, the next one's Lopez versus Jeremy. I'm like,
I said this quietly on the show, but I would take Lopez.
I think I would, too, actually.
Wow.
I know Jeremy's got the age advantage, but
but John's
a salty, tough son of a gun, man.
Yeah, he's got the experience he needs.
Yeah, I think
rough and tough fisherman.
Yeah,
I would take Lopez.
He's in the right. It's like the right amount of a elder. He's
got grandpa strength.
Yeah, but it's like not. He's not. Jeremy isn't exactly 27 like myself. Like they're close enough in age where the grandpa strength I think actually comes into a factor and is beneficial.
And by the way, right now again, there's 2 hours. For this poll, there's 2 hours and 56 minutes left. You can go to @JeremyBranham on Twitter if you'd like to vote. John Lopez
vote
right
for
now
me, please.
Is John Lopez is winning the vote 54% to 46%. So Jeremy, if you want to help him out, has some ground to make up, and so does Sean. So make sure you vote for Sean as well.
I will say the Jeremy John one that's a pretty even matchup.
Yeah.
I will say.
What is not even is the other matchup that went up yesterday.
Booker
T versus Sean Pendergast.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, no, I can't make the case. I'm sorry.
74%. Actually, it's kind of low for me. Booker T is only 74%.
I think a lot of people know that Booker's
He's a little hobbled.
Dinged up.
Does it matter? It doesn't matter.
I mean, in this matchup,
he can't walk.
Again, I'll say it doesn't matter.
Who's your Final Four, B-Mac?
My Final Four was Booker T, Seth Payne, Glenn Davis, who I then realized we couldn't cherry pick prime help for because he's also dealing with a knee injury, and Clint Sterner.
Okay.
That's
Which one of those, as you might know, pained me to pick, but it's the right pick.
Yeah, my final four. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go.
I mean, everyone's going to have Booker T and Seth Payne, right?
So Booker, Seth, Brian Lima. Dude, I'm gonna take a surprise.
Okay.
I mean, it's because he just annoys the crap out of me, so I don't want to pick Sterner. So I'll pick AC. I'll pick Clanton. So
Clanton versus Sterner would be a fight I'd pay to watch.
A lot of money to watch. Actually,
I would pay to watch that fight.
So my final four would be my final four would be Clanton, Booker, Brian Lima.
I've heard
Seth
of Lima's an athlete. I've never
he's a
worked
good
with
athlete.
him, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know him well.
He's probably the reason why Paul is the most frustrated with his life at times, because Paul got beat by Lima at all the media combine stuff.
Speaking of Paul, so Paul in the round one has Brandon Scott.
I was
and
gonna
then
say,
if he wins, I'm going to assume he has Sean Bajani. Sorry, Joel Blank. I think Sean Bajani wins that fight.
Ooh,
Sean Bajani is ripped. He's in really
Okay.
good shape.
Okay.
So him versus Paul would be a legit good fight.
Joel's too much of a. Was it a?
Am I right in that? Bajani wins that fight,
Pacifist?
right?
Yeah, Pashani wins that. Joel
Okay.
wouldn't throw a punch.
I actually
Sounds like you're calling him a soft ass boy.
He's just doesn't want to fight nobody.
I think that I'm just gonna do my analysis.
I think Joe's tried to start the fight.
I think we're playing out the winner of Paul and Bajani against Booker T. I'm not so sure that Booker has Paul Gallant in the prime of his life.
With the knee injury, that's a good point.
And in fights, you have to remember a good part of it is just who wants it more.
Paul wants it.
In real fights, it's who's angrier.
Sure.
And
Paul's always
in this
angry.
situation, who's going to want it more? I think Paul's going to want it more. And so I think I'll have Paul in my final four.
That's a good point. Like, Booker T was my initial pick to win it, and I had a final of him versus Seth Payne. But given Booker T's knee injury and an angry, motivated Paul Gallant, I think Paul could get to the final four.
Yeah, and so I'll have Paul coming out of the Cooper region. And it looks like what's my matchup with Matt Thomas right now?
You lost.
Well, it's still going on.
You lose by quite a bit.
No, it's not actually as bad as you think. It's 58% to 42%. So
okay, so
you're still mathematically in it.
So Matt Thomas obviously would kick my ass. And so, therefore, I think he's going to kick Clint Sterner's ass. I think he's going to kick Joe's ass after he beats Clanton. I'm picking a lot of upsets here. So Matt Thomas is in my final four against Paul.
A lot of Duquesnes on Sean's bracket right now.
Well, hey, if Matt Thomas can get through me, that really proves something.
There it is.
That really impresses the committee here.
That's a quad one win.
Hey, obviously all the voters see something in Matt, and you know what? I've never met him. I've never met him, so I can't speak with confidence about the matchup. But the people seem pretty convinced he would beat me. So you know what? I think he's beaten everyone in radio.
I have watched a WrestleMania at Matt Thomas's house, and I'm here to tell you, Sean Mapes, you could beat him.
Okay. Did he take any bumps while?
He did not. No, he did not take any bumps. Yeah. No, he did not.
Who's most likely to get the most upset about their not winning their matchup?
I think we've already said his name.
Oh, Blankers?
No, Paul Gallant.
Yeah, Blank or Paul.
Well, Blank doesn't like it, so I can't imagine that he would be.
He did say he could take Bajani to me. When the brackets were first announced, he told me he could take Bajani.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he can.
I don't know if he will be upset if he doesn't. I
think Paul would be upset if for some
Paul
reason,
will be upset.
If it ends up Brandon Scott winning the first round matchup.
Well, Paul will be upset.
And I love Brandon Scott, but Paul would be mad.
Paul will be upset if he doesn't win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes, so especially if he lost.
Yeah,
the first
and there's
round.
a lot of matchups that would specifically get Paul upset. Not so much in the first round or if he gets past Booker, but whoever he faces in the final four will probably get him upset.
Yeah,
if he loses.
Yeah, he will be upset in some way, shape, or form. I think that we can almost guarantee.
So we have kind of a ringer in this for 97.5 with Booker T, five time. But of the regular everyday hosts, and I'm guessing the answer is Paul, who do you think gives us the best chance to go all the way?
Non-former athlete?
Yeah.
It's Paul.
Paul? All right, I'm going to take Paul off the board then. Who gives us the best chance to go all the way? It's not Lance. He stumbles too much.
No, not Lance.
It's probably Blank.
Yeah, probably, yeah, Joel.
Because I would take Joel over Jeremy.
Ooh, okay.
Wow. Now that would be a matchup, the Killer Bee fight.
Yeah, honestly, why that should have been the first round.
Well, they can meet up.
Yeah,
I mean, they're on this. They're not in the same.
They're in the same region.
Oh, they are in the same region. Yeah, so that could be an Elite Eight matchup.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we find a way to get.
Yeah, God, I wish we could rig these.
Yeah.
Especially because the caveat is when we do these on air, I'm telling them which side they're picking for most. But if it involves them, they are then making the case for themselves. So it would be Joel making the case for Joel, Jeremy making the case for Jeremy in a segment on air with the Killer Bees. That would be fantastic.
That sucks. I need that
Honestly, if you take all the former athletes out of the bracket, not just at 97.5, but also at the other stations,
right?
I really feel good about our station's athletic prowess.
Dude, if we put anything against the other stations, we would crush them.
Again,
I'm a little worried about
former athletes out of the equation.
I'm a little worried about Landry Locker's reach because he's
pretty tall.
He's a pretty tall dude.
Yeah.
He's like a legit
Landry's tough.
Yeah, he is a very.
It's gonna be hard to get close to him with his reach.
He's a tall.
Oh, but once you get up in there,
once you get up in there, then you can't touch
uppercut.
Work the body, the head will fall.
Thanks, Mick.
All right, how good is the Rockets' future? Jalen Green's been playing real good basketball. So how good is the future for the Rockets? We'll discuss that next year on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
Joe George, Sean, and Brian here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. I'm going to lose my first bet of the day. I got no prayer. no prayer in this game. That's
so you're
okay.
saying you should have bet an under?
I should have bet an under, but it's just not. I thought
You'd be having a lot more fun right now if you had an under.
I thought Arizona was going to score a little more than this. That's why I felt okay with the bet, but it's all right. Losses happen. It's not a big deal.
Slowed down by a Big Ten country team.
Yeah, whatever.
Midwest slowness.
Slow basketball.
Yeah,
slow-ass basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have any stiffs on their team. They probably do.
All right, careful.
What?
As long as they're American stiffs, I think
Some
we're okay.
Ohioan stiffs.
Yeah, the Ohioans are going to
Yeah,
come at
that's
you.
going to get clipped.
Yeah, they're going to ruin your
R.I.P.
life.
your mentions on Twitter.
Yeah. So how you guys feeling about the Rockets these days? Feeling pretty good?
How can you not feel good about the
Yeah, I
Rockets?
know.
What, 7 in a row? Is that
Yeah.
where we're at?
7 in a row. Just took down
Bulls.
the Bulls on Thursday night. I think what's really impressive, this is like a little counterintuitive, is that it wasn't like a absolutely like face-melting Jalen Green game. It was
Right,
like,
he didn't go for 42 again.
yeah, it was like a pretty solid game where it's, again, what we talked about all season is that he'll show flashes, and if he could just have a little more like stability to his game where it's not so boom or bust, he would be good. And this wasn't really a boom game. This was just a normal kind of star, performance by a young star where he was a little bit under 50%. I think it was 10 for 22 from the field. Not awesome, but again, not like a
You can
face
live with
melting.
that.
Yeah, but that's like a solid game from the field. 22 points. I mean, really, the craziest part even before he got kicked out was how good Dylan Brooks was. Dylan Brooks was the man.
He was playing good basketball.
Yeah, he was.
Which he needed because he hasn't had a good stretch recently.
No, he's kind of been stinking it up recently, but yeah, I mean that was basically the best possible performance you could ask for when you sign Dylan Brooks in the offseason. Is there's going to be a game where he's red hot from the field? You feel good about that, and then someone tries to step to one of the young guys, and he steps right back.
Yeah.
And I think this is I know I have two allies here. But I think the ejection was very, very soft on Brooks. But again, that's part of what you want from Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, that's a reputational ejection. Like going back to
kind of like what the Bulls announcers were saying during the game.
like there's a preseason. That was in the preseason.
Yeah. His first game.
He tapped someone on accident.
Going under a screen, he racked someone.
Yeah, in the goods. And they threw him out of the game. And then this is the same thing where if this was any other player on the Rockets, if that was Alpi,
he wouldn't have gotten kicked out.
He wouldn't have got kicked out.
I 100%.
Especially because DeRozan threw that elbow. Like, and I thought the DeRozan play was pretty dirty.
Of the two, yeah, I would take more issue with what DeRozan did.
Yeah, he just straight up barreled through Jalen Green for no reason.
Yeah,
like it was a tough look. Like I heard Windhorst talking about it. He's like, said DeMar was probably just frustrated, kind of embarrassed that the game was going.
Yeah, cool. Doesn't mean you have to do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to try to initiate a fight. You can't do that and then walk away and not take responsibility.
Yeah, and then I
you're going over there
and
poking a bear. You expect the bear to respond.
Yeah, well, that's funny because Dylan Brooks famously said that he pokes bears.
That's true.
So now he's a bear.
True. Yeah.
Is he a bear poking a bear? But yeah,
bear on bear violence.
I mean, DeMar DeRozan should just be in general frustrated about the state of Chicago Bulls basketball. So I don't know what's extra frustrating about losing to a Rockets team.
You share that frustration, Joe?
I do, because they're going nowhere.
I share that frustration. Like, just watching it, they're a terrible team to watch.
They're going nowhere. It's just, they can't do anything. You know what people are excited about right now? That Lonzo Ball is playing basketball on a court with no other people for the first time in 2 years. That's what
That's what they have to look forward to.
That's all you have. They haven't been good since Lonzo got hurt.
I will say, at least by standing, is getting back to how impressed are we by the Rockets over this recent stretch. I think a lot of people have pointed to the schedule, especially pointing out that the Wizards were on it twice.
Yeah,
but you have, which is fair. But you have a win over the Kings, who are a playoff team. You have a win over the Bulls, who are a playoff team, and you beat the Suns on the road.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're only beating the Wizards. And getting to Jalen Green, I think other people have pointed out, oh, well, it's just, Alpi's off the court, so he's getting to play wide open. I don't have the numbers now, including the Bulls game, but I looked at a 6-game stretch, which includes, I think, 3 games without Alpy. And Jalen was averaging like 26 points a game, 50% from the field, 40% from 3. So this is not just him getting more shots because Alpy's out.
Yeah, he was good basically since the All-Star break, which is good to hear because, you remember the last game before the All-Star break, Ime honestly called out the entire team, but you could feel that it was a lot of Jalen Green. The eyes were kind of looking at Jalen Green because he floated out a possible lineup change, and you look at the lineup, you're like the only guy at that point that you would even think about changing out would be Jalen. And the way he responded, again, including games with Alperin, without Alperin Sengun, there's no other way to feel about it other than positive. There are, of course, going to be some small sample size. We'll see how it sustains because their schedule is going to get tougher here
but that's good
at the end of March, and that's exactly what you want.
And that includes a game against the Warriors. Like if we got into the conversation of can you catch the Warriors, you have a home game remaining against the Warriors where you could directly make up a game.
Yeah, now you've lost the season series, so that does hurt you a little bit.
But it gives you a little bit. I mean, they're 2.5 back. So I mean, that's obviously, if things hold serve, you get that game, you get it down to 1.5, and you're in the ball game.
Yeah, I hope they make the play. I would love to see them make a run right here. They hit their season win total already, which is awesome. I did at a not just.
Did you have a number?
I did. Yeah, but you want to beat those marks. When you're a young team and you've got a young team growing, and you see someone Vegas goes, hey, you know what? They're going 33 games this year. Cool. But it's nice to beat that because it just shows that there are intelligent people that are good at this, and you've proven them wrong, kind of. Because they're going to soar past it too.
I guess in a way you've proven that the Rockets are ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I mean, every part of this season is a success.
Oh, without a doubt.
It'd be nice if the players were all doing this a little bit more together, than individually. But they've done enough this year where everything's a success.
And that kind of goes back to some of the conversation that's been on this station and other places about the idea that people had a few weeks ago about tanking.
Jeremy.
And it's mostly Jeremy.
People at the station.
Quote unquote people at the station nicknamed Jeremy Branham. But yeah, it's just beyond the win total. Obviously what they win last year, 23 games, something like that. So they've 22. So they've obviously soared past that win total. They've soared past the Vegas projection. But I'm not caught up in do they win 41 to get to 500? Oh, did they win 40? I don't really care necessarily about the total. What we've cared about, and I think what we've seen during the stretch, is they're starting to develop, which is a winning culture, which is always important, but especially coming off the Steven Silas era, where it was nothing but horrible vibes for the time he was here.
I think I'm going to hit this over.
You're actually getting close. Yeah.
I'm 4 points away.
How much time you got?
20 seconds, because they've been fouling down 10 for 2 minutes. And just giving free throws.
Did I not mention that with Matt?
I know.
I was
it's a 10-point game and they're fouling for no reason.
Here's the problem, though. If Dayton here in the next possession or so misses a 3, you might have the classic where the guy gets a rebound and they all just kind of back off.
It's fascinating. They're fouling. This is one of the worst strategic games I've ever seen from a basketball team. Dayton is fouling to try to catch Arizona, but all they're doing is clearing out the paint. Everyone's around the three-point line, and they're just going to the hoop. It's they're taking 2s instead of 3s, and they're down 10.
Right. So then they foul, and they lose the 2 points.
Yeah,
right?
It's just bizarre. What do you think? Are you guys good if they don't make the playoffs this year, though?
You're not the Rockets?
You're not disappointed with the Rockets if they don't make it this year?
I mean, I guess you could say, disappointed in the fact that you'd want to watch playoff basketball. But other than that,
it could be one game, though. So.
Yeah, they've surpassed their Vegas win total. They've shown the promise that we've hoped to see down the stretch. But they did some at the beginning of the season. Then obviously they went through a lull where they won 0 road games. But now, over these last couple of weeks, they've started to look like the team they were in November and December again. And I'm seeing promise for the future. So I consider it a success at this point.
Yeah, this is probably the most I've ever thought that them making the play-in was a realistic possibility, which is nice that it's at the end of the season. Another foul by Dayton.
Let's go.
Wow.
I love this.
What a performance.
What a
All right,
strategy.
Arizona going – you need 4 points. Arizona's going to the line right now to shoot 2 with 16 seconds left.
Yeah.
You got a shot, Joe.
I can't believe I have a shot at this.
You've got a real shot at
It was.
this.
I needed 16 points with 2 minutes left.
Are they in the double bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are
Yeah,
in double
they- I
bonus.
mean, they've been
okay.
fouling
They've
for
been
2
fouling
minutes.
Yeah, that's good. That's a very good point, Sean.
Wild.
So yeah, unless Arizona misses free throws, I think you're going to get this.
Oh.
Well, no, you need 2 made free throws and then a layup, like them to concede
Right.
another layup.
I don't
Concede a
understand.
layup, yeah.
How do these people? How do they get the numbers so right all the time? Like it's gonna hit right
This
on
would
the
have been a
number.
great question for Matt.
I just
You
thought
think-
about this.
You think
yeah.
they build places like LaBerge and what's next door off of losses?
Off of guessing.
But like, he missed the free throw. All right, we're going to break. Chef,
Oh, my God.
Chef de Cuisine, Chef Lyle's gonna be joining us.
Am I going to
next.
get to ask him what I ate?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank
so
you.
we'll ask him about the food, the death burger, and I'm gonna go cry as I lose this bet with 16 seconds left to go. It's ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
You are listening to The Bullpen, live from the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios located at LaBerge Casino Resort in Lake Charles. Here's Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
Joe, Sean, and Brian coming to you live from LaBerge in Lake Charles here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. And right now we're joined by Lyle Broussard, the chef here at the book.
How y'all doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, it's been a crazy 3 days for us. So
I'd imagine. So what's your favorite item? What's your favorite thing to cook on the menu?
over here,
Yeah.
I like a little bit of everything, man. Because right when it get interesting, it get boring, so we change it.
Yeah.
So right now, man, we've been doing a lot with just a lot of Wagyu burgers and hot dogs and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know, last week we ground it up. We had some Wagyu steaks. The leftover we trimmed. We just made big 9-ounce Wagyu burgers.
That
Anything
sounds
on
fantastic.
That sounds
Yeah.
pretty
That
good
sounds
right now.
fantastic.
it. Hand cut fries. You know, stuff like pretzel buns. Just
You're speaking my love language right now.
yeah.
All right, but we got to get to the.
Yeah, we buried the lead.
We got to get
buried
to the
the
real
lead.
story. He ate your death burger.
All
Woo!
of it.
Hey,
All of it.
so I was in the back, and one of the guys from Sportsbook can you make me a Death Valley burger? I said, you really want to eat that? I'm like, says not for me. One of the guys outside was like, man.
For this mark, we tricked into eating it.
I said, man, he's not gonna like himself after that. You sure you want to do that? So, hey, look, that's actually a toned down version. of
Toned
what-
down version.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
calling
yeah.
out my he's
Yeah.
calling out my manhood.
He was crying.
No, man. So look, we cook when we cook that.
Oh.
We used to use a ghost pepper puree
Okay.
to cook it in. And lately, we've been having a hard time to get it. So that's without.
People don't want to order with the ghost pepper.
No,
puree?
no. Our supplier has been having a
Oh,
hard
I
time.
see.
Us
Okay.
getting it.
I got you.
So it was actually way hotter than that. So you got like the mellow.
So I saw what looked like a whole habanero on there.
It's not a whole. We
Okay.
cut it up.
A
but-
pretty good slice. What
Yeah.
what else did I ingest in my body that I'm
So
just gonna,
we do jalapeno, habanero, bell peppers, garlic, a little bit of sugar.
What was the sauce? Because that sauce was pretty spicy. It lingered on
So
my
the
lips
sauce
for quite
is
a
that.
while.
That is the sauce
Oh,
puree.
okay.
So you get that relish, and so we don't add no other spice to that. We just add salt and pepper. We like roast it, cook it down, and just sugar and garlic. Then we take half of that and we just puree it, and that's the sauce.
Oh, okay.
So like you get a double dose.
Man.
So
It was good, Chef. Once I got through the pain, I'll give you credit. Like when I first took the bite, it was like, okay, it's hot, but I could live through it. But then that heat crept up on me, and the delayed heat, and lingered for quite a while. But it was damn good.
and it's like 2 slices of ghost pepper cheese too.
So how do people order that?
I mean, we get about.
And it used to be hotter, Joe.
I know.
I
Think
know.
of all the things he just said. It used to be
Hey,
hotter.
okay, right when you ordered yours, the guy he was making 6 of them.
Oh, okay. So it is like, is it?
Okay.
What's the
Yeah.
most popular thing on your guys' menu? Here?
Our most popular thing is either it's kind of a toss-up right now because we just added pizza 6 months ago. So pizzas are popular. Wings, our wings. We're probably the only place in town that sell like a whole wing.
Yeah.
The whole wing.
I noticed that in the buffet. Yeah, it was whole
it's
wing.
like,
yeah.
and we got like 15 different sauces we make. And we got our sportsbook burger, which is like same kind of 2-patty style. Where we
Right.
do like fried wild mushrooms, garlic aioli,
Okay.
Sounds good.
onion straws, Swiss and bacon.
Oh, I love onion straws. on
Yeah,
burger.
that's our most popular burger. And then, I mean, we got an 18-ounce hand-cut ribeye.
So one of you other guys here mentioned there was a death version of the wings as well.
Oh, yeah, we take that same sauce and toss it on wings, too.
Okay.
Ooh, Joe, you want to try that before
Oh,
the
I
day?
don't. I'm not a spicy guy.
Me neither, man.
I'll die.
Me
Like,
neither.
I will not make it.
So you got to be here when they make this sauce. You got to be, like, early in the morning
Uh-huh.
when nobody's around because, like, the fumes.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Oh, I'm
you
sure,
got to
yeah.
wear protection or something?
No, it's just put it on real low. We're going to do it with nobody, I mean, when we're not open because, you know, when you go to cool the stuff off, you walk in the cooler, it's like getting hit in the face.
Oh
with
yeah,
mace.
you just like feel it right
yeah,
as you walk
you
in.
walk in, you're like, oh, man. Yeah.
So you guys had pizza 6 months ago?
Maybe 6 months ago, yeah.
Was there a reason? Anyone just time
Well,
to add pizza or?
It was time. We never did it. As long as I've been here since we opened, 19 years. We never sold pizza.
Wow.
Really?
And so we started doing flatbreads, and it's like we bought this pizza oven. And like, it didn't make sense. Like, why are we doing flatbreads in the pizza oven? Let's just do pizza in the pizza oven.
Yeah.
Then we started selling so many, we bought another pizza oven. So it's like,
So it's been a hit then.
oh, it's been a hit. Yeah. Then we do like your basics. Then we'll come up with like a specialty pizza. Like today, I think they doing more hot stuff. They
Is
doing
there,
like
is there a death pizza?
no, not a
Okay,
death pizza.
all right.
But today we did like Nashville hot. It's like a cheese
Oh,
pizza.
okay.
With we took these chicken cracklings and
Sure.
tossed them in
Ooh, yeah.
like Nashville hot seasoning,
Sure.
a little ranch. It's not as spicy, but it's pretty good. So
Something else that had a little kick that Joe and I both had. He was man enough to have this. Your boudin egg rolls are
Oh, so
fantastic.
good.
you think those had a kick to them?
No, not like
well,
not like a kick.
Just
but like,
you could taste the little spices off.
yeah.
okay.
You could what is it, pepper jack cheese?
Pepper jack cheese.
Yeah, you could just like
Yeah.
taste the pepper jack in there.
Guess I'm just from here. We like that had a kick.
No kick on
Well,
that. But,
certainly not compared to the death burger.
yeah. But those are awesome.
Those
so,
were very. I could eat a dozen of those easily.
Yeah, those are good, man.
So obviously out here on the patio, we got the buffet today.
Yeah.
Is this something you guys do pretty often as well?
This
or-
is the first year we tried this.
okay.
And I think we're going to do it again. And I think we're going to have this for more events like Super Bowl and
Sure.
stuff like that. So, and I mean, first, we have done events out here before. This is the first time we did it for March Madness.
Okay.
So, and like I said, I think we're going to end up doing it more often. So,
What's your favorite time of year? March Madness,
man, it's
college football.
I think it's between March Madness and college football.
Okay.
You know, we know what to expect for March Madness and college football. March Madness for us, I mean, we know exactly what to expect, but college football, it's like unpredictable.
All right. So who's your team in college football? Is it LSU?
It's LSU guy.
All right. So where do you
Yeah.
think Jaden Daniels go? Where's he going to end up?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean,
Well, where do you want to see him go? What gives him the best chance?
I would love for him to go to the Saints, but I'm a Louisiana guy.
I don't think he's going to get there.
I don't think so, man.
I don't think he's going to get there. It seems like everyone's got him mocked to the Patriots.
I think so too, man. Yeah, they need a quarterback.
They do. They definitely need a quarterback.
Yes.
Jacoby Brissett's not going to cut it for him.
No, they need. I hope so, man. It's going to be. I mean, with all that happened in the last couple of weeks, it's going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, it's been a wild offseason in
Yeah.
the NFL. Like, I mean, so with the LSU guys, you're a Saints fan, but LSU guy. So what happens when you see like Joe Burrow versus Saints? Because they're not normally, but LSU fans are so passionate.
They only face once every 4 years.
No, but like if you see like Justin Jefferson versus Saints.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, when you see Joe Burrow versus the Saints, you're gonna root for the Saints, but I mean, I'm not gonna be that guy. I mean, we're gonna root, but we kind of right now.
You want a shootout. You want a shootout.
Yeah, but right now we're gonna know the outcome. I think the Saints in a little rebuilding, rebuilding time right now.
So you ready to move on from Derek Carr then?
Yeah. I think
he just got it. Like,
yeah, I think everybody is. Man.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I knew the answer before I asked it.
Yeah. It's going to be a good season, man. Man, the Texans made good moves this year.
Yeah. We're all pretty excited about this coming season.
Adding Danielle Hunter to the roster is going to be nice.
The Texans is good business for us.
Oh, yeah.
Well, sure. 2 hours? Just 2 hours over?
No, I mean, like when the Texans game show here, it's standing room only.
Really?
Yeah, last year for the playoffs, man, you couldn't walk in
now,
there.
has that been a recent trend since they became good again, or was that even
that was last year too, man. We get more Texans fans than we do Dallas fans, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because everybody's a Dallas fan. I mean, 1 out of every 4 person that walks in is a Dallas fan.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, though, it was such an easy drive getting here. I mean, it took we left her in rush hour, and it still got here 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, that ain't bad.
So it's
man.
like it is an easy drive.
So this y'all first time at the resort?
So this is my second time.
Okay.
Yeah, I came here. You said you've been here 19 years?
Uh-huh.
I would have probably been here about year 4 for you. It's been a while since I've been here. The sportsbook wasn't even open yet, but we came out here and played poker.
Dude, I think we were Jack Daniels maybe that long ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
So you've been here for 19 years.
Since 05.
So now, okay, so everything we come here and we eat, is it all you? You working with like a team?
I got a
come
team,
up with
man.
New
I
ideas,
got a lot of my staff been with me for a long time.
Okay.
So, I mean, I trust their opinion. Not everything I'm gonna come up with. It sound great up here, and we put it on. Sound great up here, sound great on paper, and it sound great to make. And then you got to have a guy that got to make it.
Right.
Sure.
And he'll be like, "Hey, this ain't working."
So
this ain't working.
On that same note, is there anything that you've got cooking up in your head that you haven't been able to put out to the people here that come into LaBerge that you want to maybe put on the menu here in the upcoming years?
Yeah, man. I think don't quote me, hold me to this, but we're going to try to do a menu change in May.
All right. What's the big item that you think you want to push from this new menu?
One of the big things, I think we're going to do I think we're going to kind of like kick it up a notch.
Okay.
I think you're going to see like a lot of we probably end up doing like this one dish. We do a lot of hand-cut fries here, right?
Right.
And we turn them into street fries, which is like get these nice hand-cut fries. You get them tossed in garlic parmesan. You could put cheese on them. You could put Wagyu beef on them. You could put
all of that, yes.
All of that in one nice thing, and it come out so nice. Wild mushrooms. I think we end up in so right now we do it every now and then as a special and let people eat it.
Sure.
I think we're going to go ahead and make that a menu item, kind of let people build on that. I got a feeling we're going to change some of these pizzas around. Probably going to add another steak, and I think we're going to put those Wagyu hot dogs with pretzel buns.
I'm just glad you said the Death Burger's not going to get hotter.
It's going to stay.
Okay, but it's not getting hotter, though.
It's not going to get hotter.
Okay, all right.
Unless they want us
to.
to.
Because we plan on coming back, so I just want to make sure the next time I order it, it's not going to get even worse for me.
Are you going to order the next time you come?
Hell yeah. It was good, man.
Man, I give you a lot of credit, B-Back. I give you a lot of credit.
A lot. I don't even mess with it.
Have you eaten one?
I was gonna say, like, when you said
I haven't finished one. I tried it the day we made it, and I was like, man. And then one of the cooks was like, we should put this on some wings. I'm like, nobody's gonna order this on some wings. And like, they ordered on wings.
So if it's your idea to make the Death Burger, I'm surprised that you don't like spicy.
I do like spicy.
Like
my
that
body,
spicy.
My body doesn't like spicy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, we'll see how the 2-hour drive going home
yeah.
is to find out if my body likes it. But we'll see.
It'll be fun. Dude, we got to make sliders of those to go to a party later on tonight.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, more like mini bites that makes sense.
We have like a private event later on tonight. We're gonna send, and they want like 10 of those.
See, that's my speed. Like I could do it. I could try a slider of it.
So if he made a death slider, you would try it?
Yeah.
It's a great idea. We should tell
All right.
those.
We're going to hold you to that, Joe.
All right. Here's Chef Lyle. Thank you for having us. Thank you for the food. It was incredible.
Thank y'all for coming, man.
Yeah.
All right.
It is ESPN 97.5 and ESPN 92.5 coming to you live from the LaBerge in Lake Charles.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
Back here on ESPN 97.5, 92.5. What's that look for?
No, we're like just talking amongst us, like, well, I guess we'll come in while Joe's coming back from the buffet. But you had the headset on time, so there's no reason to take it from you.
Perfectly timed.
We
Perfectly
made it.
timed.
I got these little mini corn dogs.
Didn't speed up whatsoever.
I had those pre-Death Burger, and those were also very good.
I can't believe you said you're going to order another one
Hell
when you
yeah.
get back here. I do that Wagyu burger he was talking about.
We're gonna hold you to the
good.
Death Burger slider.
Yeah, if he does Death Burger sliders, I'll have a Death Burger slider.
I think if I wasn't driving home after this, I think I would be in on a wing. On the death wing.
I'll wing.
I mean, one of you guys could have another one, I guess. But yeah, I don't think. I'm willing to make the calculation that you either didn't make or ignored. Of I'm gonna have to be in a car
for 2 hours.
For 2 hours.
Yeah. With not a lot of gas stations.
As long as I can make it back.
Clinching up next to the Gators on I-10.
I just got to make it 30 minutes till we get back in Texas, and then I think we start to hit areas where there's more gas stations.
Watch out, Orange.
Yeah, I will say. You know what's funny? Like,
shout out to Vider.
Yeah, you're gonna have to rename it Brown after he leaves.
I don't get it.
Poop.
Okay, now I get it.
Because you're gonna die on the way home. All right, so you guys.
I like that Sean still explained it.
Well, you know.
That's why you're a pro's pro.
Yeah.
Oh man. Good luck, Brian.
Thank you.
We'll be thinking
You
of
want
you.
me to live text message you my?
I definitely think we will. If we don't hear from you in the group chat between when you leave and when you get home, I'm gonna be a little nervous.
Okay.
Like some confirmation that you're not hunched over on the side of the road somewhere.
We do need to factor in,
trying to find a non-gator spot to relieve myself.
Yeah.
We do need to factor in, though, he's probably going to make at least one stop. So if it's a little bit over the, 2.5 hours?
It was like 2 hours, 20 minutes.
2 hours, 20 minutes. Yeah, if it's a little bit over that, we'll give you some grace until it gets over 3.
Shout out to the Chick-fil-A in Beaumont. I might be stopping by.
Say hello.
Emergency landing.
All right, so you guys normally just with the leftovers, bunch of random stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, just stuff that wouldn't make up a whole segment.
Yeah, so we'll start with our friend Chris Paul here, talking about the lovely Tony brothers.
It's last season to get out of the way. The technicals and the one at the end, what led to that? Did it seem like they were looking for a technical? What happened there?
Oh, man. Old Tony. He's talking to me. I talk back. I called him a TikToker. Yeah, I got a tech.
That was the last one?
No, the first one. I just said TikToker. Gave me a tech.
Was there?
Second one, I just said, that's too much power. You know what I mean? He gave me another tech.
TikToker meaning?
He the judge, the jury, and all that.
Chris Paul, man, I think it had partly due to it was at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And also in a 30-second window, in addition to those 2 texts he got from Tony Brothers, he also airballed a 3. I think Chris Paul at age, 38? He's about there, 38, 39. I don't think he cared in that moment. He's like, you know what, I'm just going to get run.
He also he has such a bad relationship with refs.
Well, especially, obviously, Scott Foster.
Yeah, but it does seem to go past. I don't know if it's because of the relationship with Scott Foster that other refs sometimes
maybe have Foster.
I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah, but they definitely. He seems to be frustrated pretty frequently.
If
with
what
referees.
Chris Paul said was true, though, and all he said was TikToker, and that got a tech, that's pretty soft there from Tony Brothers. That's pretty soft.
That is soft. I do appreciate Chris Paul's IDGFA era that he's living in.
Definitely living in that era.
Giving us a lot of great moments. I wonder, TikToker.
Yeah, I still don't fully get the joke.
Maybe that's why he got the tech.
He tried to explain it, but it still didn't make a lot of sense.
No, that's why.
And yes, I'm sure if we can't make sense of it, I seriously doubt Tony Brothers was able to make sense of it.
So Tony maybe took it as some slander that he didn't understand.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. You're out.
Yeah, I don't like the way you said that. Hold this tech.
Yeah,
too much power. You're gone.
Out of here. I know what that means. Out of here.
Yeah, I really don't. And then when he tried to explain, what did he say? He said judge, jury,
He said judge, jury, executioner.
Well, what does that have to do with TikTok?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't get. I get the idea of judge, jury, executioner, but yeah, what does that have to do with TikTok?
Yeah, it makes
maybe I'm a 40-year-old who doesn't fully understand TikTok.
Am I missing something? I might just look up Tony Brothers TikTok, see what comes up.
I can't imagine Tony Brothers has a TikTok page.
I imagine it's this story, but
yeah.
I mean,
there's no way he has a TikTok page, right? Tony Brothers?
What I'm thinking is that there might be like a TikTok thing making fun of Tony Brothers.
That could be it. And maybe Tony Brothers is aware of it. He knows he's being made fun of by Chris Paul.
I could see that.
Yeah.
All right, so next we'll go to Dan Orlovsky.
He's got some hot takes, Joe.
He always has hot takes. Here's a lovely hot take from one Dan Orlovsky.
I would have moved on from everyone, though. I mean, at some point you realize this version is as good as we are going to be. And part of it was knowing what was down the line financially. Part of it was understanding the $60 million cap hit. And in sitting there going, okay, well, he's a good quarterback. He's had moments of really good quarterback play. But we, for some reason, as a team, can't get past who we have to get past to achieve the ultimate goal. If they were serious about winning Super Bowls, was there, and I know there's a no-trade clause in his contract, but players waive no-trade clause for certain situations. Is there a way where they could have moved on from Mike McCarthy, traded Dak Prescott, regained assets, and built the football team up and maybe got a different player at quarterback that did different things in different situations, Bri? Like, I think that's the reality of who the Cowboys are. They've in many ways, peaked this version.
I love that Dan Orlovsky is like us playing Madden, where we lose a bad game and we just say, F it, I'm trading everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's totally wrong.
Trade everybody?
No.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb? Micah Parsons?
No, just Dak specifically.
Okay, that's not trade everybody, though.
Yeah,
Trade one guy.
That's the definition of one guy.
At least they move on. Like they should move on from Dak. I
Mike
know
McCarthy too.
Yeah, because he's never going to get you anywhere.
If his take had been they should have moved on from Mike McCarthy, fully support. We wouldn't even be talking about it right now.
Yeah.
But get rid of everybody when you're winning 11 games every year for the last 3 years. It seems like a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, they are probably in one of the worst positions in the NFL, honestly, at the quarterback spot because
aren't they just kind of stuck in the middle right now?
Exactly,
yeah.
And that's the worst place to be.
It is.
I'd rather be the Patriots,
right,
or be Washington and be taking a fly. I'd rather be Minnesota and probably taking J.J. McCarthy than have Dak Prescott.
Man, if you hadn't said the name J.J. McCarthy, I would agree with you, but I think he's going to be terrible.
I just would rather take a flyer on a rookie quarterback than have Dak, who's never going to win anything.
Yeah, no, there's nothing in Dak's playoff resume that leads me to believe he's suddenly going to be a guy to go on a deep run. And other than being with Aaron Rodgers, there's really nothing in the resume that says that for Mike McCarthy. But trade everyone when you have CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons on the team might be a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a reach. And, yeah, the Cowboys are the definition of, like, kind of – it's not – I guess it's not quarterback hell. It's just quarterback purgatory.
You're basically stuck, and you know it's not good enough.
And like Dak, he's coming up for an extension.
Right.
It takes a lot to look, and it's just the way that Jerry Jones operates. Like, he's not going to look at Dak Prescott and be like, you know what, I'm better off just letting him walk and just having to figure it out in the wilderness for a year. Like, as much as we talk about Jerry Jones making these like rash decisions in how he runs the Cowboys, he really doesn't.
No.
Like, he keeps coaches for way too long. He just wants to be like decent. It looks like they are building to the middle, and they just hey, if you're a Tony Romo level quarterback, you can just be a quarterback for 10 years for the Cowboys, and then Tony Romo gets hurt. We draft Dak Prescott. He's about as good as Tony Romo was.
Pretty much.
Let's just keep the trains running, and yes, we'll make you the richest quarterback in the league. So I think, yes, while it is an interesting theory, and I think it might even be better off. I mean, ultimately it just comes down to you're just going to have to draft a guy and get lucky in the draft, have the right pick in the right year.
It's tough for Jerry because, this is.
But you got to stink to do that.
This is going to be dark, but we don't know that Jerry's going to be around for that.
No, you're right.
That's another good point.
Like, that's where I wonder why I think they won't get rid of Dak. Because how do you got to.
You're going to spend your last years on Earth with
he wants to win
in a complete rebuild?
Yeah, exactly. He's going to keep trying to win. And I give him credit for that. Like, I would rather the Cowboys fans have it pretty good. Like, the fact that they're an 8+ win team every single year, it's better than being Carolina. It's better than being so many of these teams that are just dog. At least they have a competitive football team every season.
I guess that kind of – I think this debate has been had on the show before. Like, how many horrible losing seasons would you give up for a Super Bowl? Because you're right. The Cowboys have been a pretty good to, at least second-round playoff team for a while now, but they're also a team – that since 2002 when the Texans came in the league have fewer playoff wins than the Houston Texans, who obviously have never even been to a conference championship.
Yeah, like their fans enjoy the regular season, I would imagine.
They just turn the TV off in January.
And the way that they are good is that they have stars all over the field, not just at midfield and in the end zones and on their helmets, but like actually like in the game.
Come on, Chuck.
What? They got DeMarcus, you go back, they get like DeMarcus Lawrence, DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah.
You got
all the DeMarcuses.
You got CeeDee Lamb, Des Bryant, Zeke Elliott.
You had Amari Cooper, then you trade him away for a 5th-round pick for some reason.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. Like, you get to root for awesome players. Micah Parsons.
Zeke, we haven't even named Zeke.
I did, but yeah.
Oh, you did? My bad.
You get to root for these awesome players, but yeah, again, you're less successful in the postseason than the Houston Texans. Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's not a great look.
If you were the Cowboys and like you had a chance, let's say you decided to move on, what are you hoping for next offseason?
I mean, if you're going to move on.
Are you taking a flyer on Fields next year?
No, I mean, I think if you're moving on, aren't you?
No offense, but no.
No, but like that's what's hard too is like.
I mean, Jared Goff's going to be a free agent.
I mean, shoot, they got Trey Lance on their roster.
It's the worst year to want to have to potentially move on from Dak.
We're going to take Quinn Ewers in the draft, sir.
Awesome.
Shedeur Sanders.
Great. Love it.
No, it could be. Again, that's why they're going to end up paying
Riley Leonard.
Dak Prescott. Who? That's why they're going to end up paying Dak Prescott all that money is because, Jerry Jones doesn't want to stare down the barrel of, oh, my God, I'm going to have to draft a Notre Dame quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Credit to Dak Prescott for following the Kirk Cousins playbook to perfection.
He is, except that he's on a team that's not willing to look him in the face and say you're not worth it.
Yeah,
he plays for a team that's like, you know what? I mean, honestly, they're always number one in the most valuable franchises lists that come out, like on the Forbes list. And a lot of times it's decisions like this, like
maybe
that they don't tank.
Right.
They never do it.
It's a don't rock the boat mentality almost.
No, it's hey, they're good enough to sell to their fans that, hey, we got a chance. Every year it's like, hey, we got a chance. Now, it has never come to fruition in literally my entire life.
Yeah.
But they do not have a chance.
Oh my God, you were young and you were just young enough to have never seen a Cowboys
I've
title.
never been alive for a Cowboys title.
Wow. As you said,
they won it what?
Yeah,
in
you're
February '96. I was April.
Yeah,
96.
1995 season. So yeah.
That's
wow.
crazy. I forgot that.
Shout out to Cowboys fans. It's been a long time.
Sorry.
Sean probably made all you feel real old right
Yeah,
there.
I've seen more Seattle,
including this guy right here.
I've seen more Seattle Seahawks Super Bowls than Dallas Cowboys.
All right, it's that time. I've done it once. I can't wait to do it again. It's time for Mount Rushmore +1. That's next year on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Best intro of anything we do on the station. It's so good.
Thank you.
All right, Mount Rushmore +1. Who wants to go first?
I think Joe should lead off. It's only your second time.
Normally we go newbies first.
Yeah. I don't remember how far back it goes for you to be on Mount Rushmore. I remember my Mount Rushmore +1 that day because it was Joe's I don't want to hang out with.
Yeah,
I don't remember what yours was.
Mine was foods that we stopped eating because we're adults.
Oh, that's
that
right.
I eat again now because I have a kid.
Yes,
it was
right.
like goldfish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Fruit roll-ups.
Fruit roll-ups,
Yeah,
just like fruit snacks in general.
Snack packs.
Yeah, snack packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Lunchables was on there.
Right. That's a good one. That's a good one.
These are all stuff I love. Yeah,
He
great
does,
list.
my son doesn't even eat Lunchables, but now I buy them so I can be like, well, he might eat this.
He might eat them, and then you take them. Yeah.
Mini, you don't. It doesn't have to be a full 5, but just what's your favorite Lunchable?
I love the pizza one.
Yeah, pizza.
Pizza or just
pepperoni pizza.
or just like the ham and cheese crackers.
Nah.
Like, it's so simple, but I love that one.
Don't love that one. Okay, what's your list?
All right, my list today, my Mount Rushmore +1 today, are things that I love since we're here. Things that I love to bet on that I shouldn't, that I never win.
Okay.
Overs on Arizona versus Dayton.
The coin toss in the Super Bowl. I love to bet on this.
How many times have you bet on that?
Do you have
every year for the last 5 years?
Okay. Tell me how you bet. How do you bet that?
Tails never fails.
Tails.
Okay, that is the only acceptable way to bet the coin toss is to go tails never fails.
Yeah.
Anything other than that, you're a fool. But tails never fails. I cannot argue with it.
Some of these are all Super Bowls. I don't bet a ton of money on these.
I mean, you can't. But.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. The Gatorade color. I always go blue.
Do you have a strategy with this?
Blue every year.
So it's just blue every year.
I don't change.
Blue feels pretty ubiquitous as a Gatorade color.
Green and red also feel like pretty.
I
don't know if they're safe bets.
I think red, blue, orange.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think are the big 3.
You're probably right.
Yeah. So betting on the Gatorade, betting on the anthem. I love betting on the anthem.
Like the overtime?
No. I don't always go over. That one, it depends on the year.
You get intel? Do you get any intel?
You got inside information here, Shohei?
Lee Sterling, broke it down like a science. He was wrong.
Yes, he wasn't.
You should have waited until the end.
He
to
said
say that he was wrong.
He said his daughter, who sings the national anthem at big events, she's done Bears games, Big Ten championship game. He said she had got it right 10 years in a row until this year.
Wow.
So we went with her. She was wrong. I
bet his daughter bet the other side.
But you
threw everyone off the set and then bet the other side.
You would be up so much if you followed her every year, though.
Okay, I love betting on Team USA basketball.
Because you're a Patriot?
Yeah.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Don't run,
yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait until the Olympics because I am one of the only people in radio that I think care about the Team USA basketball. And everyone cares when they lose. I care all the time about Team USA basketball.
And if I can get the spread, I'll take it. If they're favored by 45 against Lithuania, great.
I think the last time I was glued
I don't know where the hell Angola is or whatever.
But I'll take the 50 points.
I'll tell you this, Sean. When the Redeem team first happened, what was that? 2008.
Yeah.
I was glued to the TV for that one. Some of the other times it's been obviously in time zones where you're having to watch it at 2 a.m.
That's always tough.
That gets a little tough. But yeah, I love Olympic basketball. Well, USA Olympic basketball.
Last one I got here because I picked this up during the pandemic because they came back first. I still occasionally will dabble on bet on my dinosaurs. KBO baseball. Korean Baseball League.
Hold on.
Sicko. We talked about this yesterday.
How many times have you passed a sign that says gambling problem and it gives out a phone number?
Ross,
you're betting on KBO basketball?
You need a hotline.
Ross and I were so bored during and then baseball came back.
Just watch Tiger King like the rest of us. What were you betting Korean baseball for?
They're like $5 bets. I still occasionally dabble.
That was like the Rick James.
You're gonna pass a sign on the way out.
That was the Dave Chappelle Rick James story.
Yes. I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
No.
Yeah, I did that.
I dabble sometimes.
Sometimes, still present tense.
It's fun.
This feels like a classic situation of whatever number he tells us, Sean. We're gonna have to multiply it.
No. I probably the only one I bet a decent amount on would be Team USA basketball. Because I do love, I love betting on.
These colors don't run.
Colors don't run. I tried betting on other Olympic stuff though. Can't get into it.
You bet the bobsled?
I've never done that. That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, what's your most random Olympic sport that you bet?
Just the track races.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, 100 and 200 would be the only ones that I would even be
and
interested
the same
in.
with swimming. Like,
Were you just betting on Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps?
yeah, but typically, like, those odds suck. So you have to really only bet on the races
Yeah.
they're not in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, because it's like they were such heavy favorites.
Yeah, or Katie Ledecky,
Yeah.
where she, like, laps the field.
Yeah, it's like you can't bet any of that stuff because the odds are brutal, to be honest. All right, that's my Mount Rushmore.
All right, I'll do mine. I'll do my Mount Rushmore
All right.
plus one in honor of the great state of Louisiana. I made a comment to Joe last night when I got here, being like, I while I'm at LaBerge, I forget that I'm in Louisiana.
Because there's so many Texas license plates in the parking lot?
Yeah, well, that, and two, I forget until I look up every 30 seconds and I see a different LSU thing. Either someone wearing an LSU jersey, someone
Behind the bar here.
Our dude at the bars with rocking the LSU baseball jersey. There's Joe Burrow jerseys.
Yeah.
The dealers are wearing jerseys. They're wearing polo shirts. So I did a Mount Rushmore plus one of cool LSU athletes.
Oh, okay.
Not the best.
Cool.
Because as I put together this list, I have basically 2 Mount Rushmore plus ones worth of athletes to put on here. And I thought about this for, 5 minutes before
there's a lot
as
lot
we
of
were
cool
getting
athletes.
set up.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So number one, not number one, just first off, I got Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Invented the gritty.
He invented the gritty.
The
And now
gritty
everyone in the world does it.
The gritty was just a thing he did in college, and now, like, politicians do it, and it's terrible, but they still do it.
Charles Barkley tried to do it the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I missed that.
Yeah.
So
it's out there.
So anytime you have that kind of cultural impact, like he would be number one on a lot of lists, and he's just on the list. Up next, I'm gonna go with basketball. I'm going to go Tyrus Thomas.
Okay. I was wondering if you're going to go him, not to give away the rest of your list.
Stromile Swift.
Yeah, or he's got another teammate.
Yes, he is on the also considered Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Yeah, just the nickname alone is a fun time.
Yeah, no, that is very true. For this one, I'm going to go with someone that I know you love, B-Mac, someone you loved watching back in your day. I'm going to go Pistol Pete Maravich.
You son of a... Wow.
Way he was spinning the ball. He invented the crossover, which I'm sure blew your mind at the time.
The worst part is he's not wrong. Because as a kid, I owned a VHS tape with Pistol Pete highlights.
I mean, but at least you only watched it VHS. Joel was in the front row.
The worst part is he was right. I was trying to be mad, and then he was right.
Pistol Pete had to give you one. Because my list is very contemporary, so I had to give.
Shout out to the old. He was throwing me a bone there.
Shout out to Pistol Pete. Next up, I got Terran Matthew.
Honey Badger.
I mean, that's just
Honey Badger don't care. That was fun.
That's kind of like where the list, like when you're going through it, that's kind of where it starts. Is he's the first guy you think of?
Yeah.
And then lastly, of course, the guy who's essentially a patron saint of. A patron saint here in Louisiana. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow.
No Alex Bregman on the list.
Did you watch him in college?
I did not.
So I'm thinking of like when they're in college. How
I
cool they
know.
were.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, come on.
Joe Burrow.
And I closed my list because I do.
Who are the honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions.
Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell, Patrick Peterson, Jamar Chase.
Oh yeah.
Leonard Fournette, Morris Claiborne.
Okay.
Remember Morris Claiborne?
I do.
Derek Stingley, Big Baby. Among others.
Yeah, you could do multiple.
Stromile Swift.
Swift, former Rocket. Yeah, you could do lots with
that.
that.
And that was just me, like,
LSU
kind of
list.
sitting down. Like Patrick Queen just came to mind.
Yeah. There's certainly a lot more.
Daniil Hunter, welcome to the Houston Texans.
Yeah. No Zach Mettenberg.
No Zach Mettenberg. I could have done crappy. Next time I'm doing crappy LSU quarterbacks from the Les Miles era. That's
you
what
can
I'm
also
doing.
do 2 different lists on those as well.
Yeah, I can. We should just go to.
There's a lot of
We
material
should come
there.
here every week. It's the easiest thing for me to make LSU theme lists.
All right, so I'll finish this off here. My Mount Rushmore plus one this week is maybe a not nice shout out to Coach Cal and the Kentucky Wildcats, who got bounced in the first round by Oakland And I was thinking back to, obviously Coach Cal's had a bad run of it. They haven't had a lot of tournament success recently. You have to go back to 2012 when they last won a national title, which I believe got taken back. No, it didn't. Okay,
no,
maybe I'm
still
thinking.
Stands. You're thinking of 2013 Louisville.
Maybe so. Yeah, and I believe Coach Cal's UMass Final Four got taken away. That's the whole
Marcus
other
Camby.
topic. So I'm just going things from 2012 as we
Love it.
As we try to remember the good times for Coach Cal and the Kentucky
Me
Wildcats.
getting my driver's license, number one.
I was a married man by then. Yeah,
Is that on your
You
list?
guys have been married that long?
Yeah, I got married in 2010.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the year I graduated high school.
I hate you guys so much.
Dude, you're way older than I thought you were. I'm sorry.
That's why.
Wow.
That's why I brought up Pistol Pete.
I guess compliment.
I
guess. I don't know.
You have a young soul.
I'm just going to move on before I get insulted more.
Youthful spirit.
So best things or just things from 2012. Not all of these are necessarily good. Michaela Maroney's unimpressed meme.
Oh, yeah.
That was
talking about the Olympics.
Yeah, they talking about the Olympics. I think that meme was. It wasn't crying Jordan levels, but it was used a lot there for a long time.
It was used for a long time.
Also want to give a shout out to the fears of the Mayan apocalypse that people thought was going to happen in December of 2012 when, the Mayan calendar ended, so the world's going to end. So.
Inspired a great movie starring John Cusack.
I didn't see it.
It was not a great movie.
I watched it like 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's on HBO Max.
Oh, okay. It was an FX staple in like 2012 to 14.
Yeah.
Another shout out to the birth of YOLO. That was when the terminology YOLO first started getting thrown out there by everyone doing terrible, dumb things at a party or people betting unders on Korean baseball.
Shout out to Drake.
Overs only.
Shout out to Drake for inventing that.
There was a moment in time where I don't think anyone knew what shawarma was, and then the Avengers end credit scene had the scene where they're all eating shawarma. They destroyed deli, and all of a sudden shawarma took off on menus nationwide.
Did people not know what shawarma was?
At least it wasn't a popular trend at the time. Yeah, people knew what it was, but I was looking up things from 2012, and they talked about how much sales of that and how much it showed up in like trending topics.
Interesting.
Just exploded after the end credit scene from the first Avengers movie. So that is that's 4 on my list. Last one, not a great thing, but 2012 was also. We learned about Oscar Pistorius, who later went on to become a murderer, and is now out of prison. So, that maybe not a great thing from 2012. But in 2012, we all loved Oscar Pistorius. He was the Blade Runner, and then he went on to kill somebody. So not great.
Not great indeed.
2012, Oscar Pistorius hero. That
doesn't fall in the purview of the list.
Hit credits, roll credits, end scene.
Nike Elite Socks, others receiving votes.
Others receiving votes. Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen.
That's a tough one.
That took over the airwaves for a little while.
That's a tough bubble team right there.
Yeah.
All right, our worst person in sports, what we loved, what we didn't. That's next year on ESPN 97.5, 925.
You're listening to The Bullpen, live from the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios located at La Berge Casino Resort in Lake Charles. Here's Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
All right, final segment of the show today. Thanks again to La Berge Lake Charles for having us out this weekend. It's been an awesome trip so far. If you want to come bet on your favorite Texas teams, come check it out. The sportsbook here is incredible. The ESPN Bet app as well is something that you can get now. They were just talking about how it's been so much better with the rebrand to ESPN Bet than it was before. So it sounds like it's an awesome app. I'm just going to download it myself right after this so we can wager on it. I got the over in this Kansas-Gonzaga game.
Did you make that bet like after your Arizona game failed?
No. I bet the Arizona over, the Gonzaga-Kansas over, and then the Rockets-Jazz over.
So what is the over for Gonzaga-Kansas?
152.
Ooh, that is high.
And then Rockets-Jazz is 228.
I feel better about that one.
Rockets, Jazz.
Yeah.
I feel better about that one.
I don't, but okay.
Why not?
The scoring around the NBA is kind of down recently, but
is it?
That could be an entire segment worth of topic. Basically, they changed the way they officiated NBA games in the middle of the season.
So, this is going back to the Zion
right,
Williamson quote, when he was talking about.
Yeah, it was like in February they just stopped calling fouls.
Right.
All right, worst people in sports this week.
Sean, you want to lead us off here?
Yeah, I'll lead it off. University of Virginia basketball for making me watch you play. At least back in the day, 18, 19 range. At least they're good.
Yeah, 19 was when they won the title.
Yeah, and before they played like this for now like a decade.
Yeah.
And for the vast majority of that decade, they're one of the best college basketball programs in the country. Now they are not. Now they're losing the play-in game, playing that way, and I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm so glad that they lost. I'm so glad I only watched 5 minutes of it, and the first 5 minutes of the first 4 game that they played on Tuesday, the score was 4-2 after 5 minutes.
Yeah, I saw
and
it.
So
bad.
I dipped out of that, and still worst person in sports. If you're going to play that way, I don't have anything against you. Just be better.
Just be better. At least win the game against a team that Texas then shot horribly against and still beat by double digits.
Just be like a 3 seed.
Set basketball
play
back
like that.
50 years.
Yeah.
They went back to George Mikan era basketball. My worst person in sports this week, Western Kentucky for ending Bijan's perfect bracket. If you didn't see it, Bijan Robinson went perfect 16-0 on the first day of the tournament.
And then he had Northwestern, so he started 17-0.
Yeah, he started 17-0, but unfortunately, Western Kentucky did not come through with them, and the dream died there. He even had the official NCAA March Madness Twitter account posting a meme of with the gravestone and saying Bijan bracket memes.
Yeah, they've been doing that a lot.
They must have hired a young person because they got
Tucker
a lot more.
Tucker's was up there.
Yeah, I think they get a bunch of athletes and other famous people to fill them out because I've seen quite a few brackets. Bijan's was one of the best in the country, apparently.
Yeah, it was like you said. He started off 17-0,
and I respect him for picking against Shaka Smart. I respect that.
I respect that too.
Joe, your worst person in sports this week?
It's we don't even know why yet. We don't know why this is the worst person in sports. But typically, when you start a press conference and you have to talk for like 2 minutes, saying you're going to sue the Washington Post because of a story that's about to come out, I'm going to assume that Kim Mulkey is going to be the worst person in sports this week, the head coach of LSU's women's basketball team.
Normally we go looking back. You're looking forward.
She's already
a preemptive. Worst person in sports.
I don't know what this article is, but if she talked for like 2 minutes at the start of her press conference, says she has hired the best defamation lawyers in the country.
That is a bad sign. I'm with you there. That is a bad sign.
That sounds very bad.
If there was nothing to hide, that would not be the move I would guess would happen.
Yeah, so I'm going to say Kim Mulkey is the worst person in sports this week, and I don't even know why.
Yeah.
Here we are in La Berge in Louisiana. You're calling out LSU
throwing shots.
I got bad news for you guys.
I feel bad. I left off Angel Reese off my cool LSU athletes list.
You're not an ally.
I guess not. Paul would have scooped that one up.
Yeah.
White Knight himself.
I don't know what Kim Mulkey did, but I know innocent until proven guilty, but I think she did it.
Maybe she placed wagers with Shohei.
Sight unseen. I think she did it.
All right, so it's time to ditch the anger sharks and backstroke over to the Sea of Tranquility.
Should it be the Anger
Gators.
Alligators?
Yes,
and
yes.
the Bayou of Tranquility.
Yeah, the Bayou of Tranquility. Well done with the imaging
Localize
there
it.
and the localize it aspect there, Sean. So, what did you love from sports this week,
What I
Sean?
loved from sports was Jack Golke's not only his performance, but then him making that quick buck and getting the NIL sponsorship with TurboTax. Let's
Did he
hear
really?
it. Yep.
Me and my team got to the next round by making all our moves count, just like TurboTax, who makes all your off-court moves count this tax season.
I like that they went with the guy who looks like he's 40.
Exactly. I was
the NIL for TurboTax.
I was saying his NIL should be a job in 4 months. That should be his NIL payment. Is that they just hire him to be an accountant.
I think he should do like the what was the Brett Favre bronze sleeves that he would put on? Maybe.
Oh, yes, copper fit.
Copper fit.
Yeah.
I think he's got that sponsorship in his future.
I would assume that that's his degree.
Why do you assume that?
Oh, accounting?
It looks like he's a white dude who's losing his hair.
Stereotype much?
Yeah, it fits a stereotype.
Yeah. So hey, maybe this is his foot in the door as a personal accountant.
All right, the thing I love from this week comes from the NC State game where, man, they got a big man who's thick with 2 C's. And after the game, apparently the NC State has a tradition where I guess after games, I don't know if this is win or lose or just win, but they get ice cream in the locker room after the game, which that's what I love. That's the part that I love, the fact that they're giving these guys ice cream, even when you got a thick boy up there in center and you don't care. You're still throwing those calories at him anyway. But CBS tried to glom off this in the audio you're about to hear, giving one of NC State's big men ice cream right after their win the other day in the NCAA tournament.
Make magic? Yes, sir. It's an electric, man. It makes you want to go get those buckets just a little bit more.
All right, so before you go, I know it's tradition on the road. You guys get ice cream in the locker room. So I want to give you an early taste here for an NCAA piece of ice cream from here at us at CBS, man. Enjoy it. It was fun to watch.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That ice cream smile. DJ Burns.
What you don't see in the clip is DJ Burns then immediately takes the ice cream he's given by the CBS sideline reporter and gives it to someone in the stands.
I love that.
He didn't even take it.
I like that move of giving you see guys give people their
I
headbands.
am not going to be caught on camera eating ice cream.
Yeah.
He's self-aware.
Yeah. Thing I love this week, today I learned that the Pac-12, as it's dying, is an all-time negotiator, and every single time a Pac-12 team wins a game in March Madness, they get $2 million. So with Arizona winning today, the remaining 2 teams of the Pac-12 have collected $18 million so far through March Madness.
Oregon plays later today, right?
And Oregon plays later today. So this is just straight up Oregon State and Washington State are the only ones getting this money.
That's great. That's
Which
elite. That's
love
elite
this.
hustling.
Yeah, I love.
They're
this
not in the
story.
tournament. They're making bank. Wow.
Yeah.
Or Washington State's in the tournament.
All right, that does it for us. For Brian McDonald, for Sean Mapes, myself, Joe George. Thank you guys for letting me steal the show today. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime.
Very, very kind of you. Thank you to LeBurge Lake Charles for having us out. We'll be back out here soon, I would imagine. We're going to do a couple of these this year, so my guess is we'll be back out here in a couple of months.
Don't get my way on the way home.
Good luck to Brian on the way home. We're going to go make an Astros bet. Enjoy March Madness. Sean and I will talk to you Monday at 12. Brian Monday at 3. Goodbye.